you're involved in right now. What are you doing?
What are you
Stuff.
doing? Kind of stuff.
Oh boy. All right. So if you want to follow me and keep up with me, just go on the artist formerly known as Twitter. We call it X these days. You look up Seaport Pro. I'm there. You can find me over on Facebook, where I do a lot of my assholishness, if you would, over on Facebook. It's Pro Reacher Adams, PROREACHER Adams. There's a story on why that's Pro Reacher over there on Facebook. We can get into that later if you want to. Excuse me. As far as where I'm at in the streets, man,
Sure.
I'm everywhere I need to be, bro. I'm like Visa, right? I'm at the school board meetings. I'm at city hall meetings. I'm a vice president of neighborhood association. I'm in the schools. I was a PTA president at one point in time. I'm in the political party here, my political party of choice here in my county. Shit, man, I'm with nonprofits. I'm feeding the hungry. I'm empowering people with an empowerment center. Man, I'm everywhere. Let me turn this thing on silent because it's gonna be jumping all night. Excuse me. So yeah, man, I'm everywhere, man. I'm like Visa. I'm everywhere I need to be, bro. That's it.
Heck yeah. That is fair, man.
That is fair, man. I know you're
actively involved in local politics.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
I find it interesting that not to blow up your spot too much. I'll keep it wide, but like I'm in the state of Oklahoma, in the state of Georgia, in the state of Georgia.
Right.
But I find it interesting that Georgia's kind of a hotbed. You know when you a little bit more than just here. I know you are very involved in the politics in the state of Georgia. And it's a hotbed right now. Every time you turn on the news, it's voter fraud here, this stuff going on here. And I wanted to get your opinion on it from somebody who's more on the inside, somebody who understands it a little bit better.
Right on.
What do you think's going on?
Oh man, I think that there is a concerted effort between parties, not just the red or just the blue or the rich and poor. My fam said there's a crazy echo. So is there echo? Is that from me, bros, or is it from both of us? Shouts out to
or is it from me?
Anyway, while we wait for that answer to come, I know there's a mad delay over on Facebook. So there's a concerted effort between parties. Okay, it's from you, bros.
Of course.
blame it, bro.
I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Paying the bills,
buying the equipment, and I'm figuring this out. Hold on.
It happens.
You know what it might be?
What's that?
I might have two microphones tuned in.
Oh. That could be a problem. And then there's something, man. There was one show I had. StreamYard had this whole echo cancellation or whatever it's called, and it was killing my music. Like my music wasn't coming through. So, man, it's all kind of stuff when we're on this here streaming stuff, but we learn and we get better. That's the great thing about it. And everybody takes the journey with us. Excuse me. So while you get that, I'll get back into what I really think is going on and just what I see, man. They've come together and said that they want us, the people, to be dependent on them. They don't want us thinking for ourselves. They don't want us, being sustainable on our own. And that's never really been their mission. Like their mission from the jump has always been to enslave or to remain in control of a lower class. And it was only them on top. Excuse me. And that's what I think is the crazy thing where I like, a lot of people waking up now. Hold on. Where there's a lot of people waking up now is that they see the whole slavery thing full circle. Like understanding that it was a development thing, in the early days on just one particular set of people until now it's just a straight power thing and it's involving every set of people, right? It doesn't matter black, white, Puerto Rican, Mexican, like They want to enslave you. They want to be the ones telling you what to do, how to do, and when to do it. And it's so great that the awakening is happening up right now to where, there's a lot of people on all sides who are like, okay, we'll see what's happening here. Let's go ahead about this and try and fix it. With them knowing that we're coming together and we're waking up to what's actually happening, they're pulling out all the stops in every way they can, and mainly in the elections, right? If they can pull a cheat here, stuff some ballots here, run this system here, they can remain in power and do what they want to do. The bad thing about that is they pushed it too hard, right? They did it with Trump in 2020, and then they turn around and it got bad for everyone for the past, 2-3 years, and they pushed it again in these municipal elections, and people are realizing that, wait a minute, we didn't vote for that, we voted for this. Wait a minute, how are you telling me that is what's happening when these numbers aren't adding up? You know what I'm saying? So, you have all these questions that are popping up, and they're trying to quell them, but it's not going to quell them. And it's going to get really, really bad leading into the 2024 election and the cheat, because people have had enough. Like, people are actually going to vote for the opposite of what they voted for last time. You're going to have the people who are still going to be asleep. That's going to happen. But as we wake up more people and let them know what voting is, and like, hey, this is how Trump beat them the first time with the cheat. He mobilized the counties, right? So now we mobilize the counties just like he did, but we also flipped the cities. And if everybody in the city show that, no, we're not with this BS no more, we're going to go this way, we can beat the cheat fraud, because they're going to cheat. Like, that's just what it is. They've been cheating. I think they said they've cheated in every damn election we've ever had in this country, which, I can see it and believe it, because that was really antiquated. That was paper back then, like we thought the usage of dead votes was something now. Sheesh.
Can you hear me okay now?
I hear you good. What about you, chat? Is his echo bad?
Yeah, let me know if my echo is bad.
Because I don't get an echo from you. But anyway, what's up? What else you got for me?
Absolutely, man. No, I absolutely agree. I'm trying to see if we're getting that echo. I'm getting it. I don't know what's going on. But we'll figure it out. I did a cast the other day here with the new equipment. So I was excited to try the new equipment with you here. So you need headphones. I have headphones, and I plugged them in. It was getting the echo. That's why I unplugged them. Let's see something here. Check 1, 2.
Does he have
down the volume? I can hear you good. Can you hear me good?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you great. You're awesome.
Okay, let's try now. See, we got the DJ handling it. We got DJ Pretty Boy Cornell in the chat. What up, DJ Pretty Boy Cornell? Yes, sir. Thank you. I might be tripping, but you're helping. He's like producing. You know what I mean? We have to send him a gift card. There, I'm good. All right. Thank you. I literally don't know what I did, but it's working, so let's just ride. Absolutely, man. I wanted to ask you, it's funny, just today I was looking, if people follow you, it's Friday Night Flights. You can do it on YouTube. You can do it on Rumble. You can do it here on Facebook. I think you also stream on Twitch, I believe.
Nah, Twitter. I got
Twitter. Sorry.
Let's see, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Rumble. That's my 4.
Yeah, man. You broke down something amazing this week where you were talking about you went into the nuts and bolts of Trump and kind of why he's hated, and not the the TV reasons of why he's hated, but basically the actual reasons of why he's hated, and it's the truth. And today I was looking at the payroll tax. And just the fact that he wanted to get rid of it, and the fact that you can almost argue that the payroll tax is unlawful. So, just besides something as simple as the payroll tax and how good it would be for every American, plus every small business and even large businesses to do away with that, what are a couple of other base points that you think that either the Republican Party or, Trump writ large and what he's trying to do, can you just touch on a couple of those points and what it's important to know if somebody's listening who, either may be undecided or may just be believing, what they're hearing, kind of thing.
Well, the next thing I always put out there is school choice. Excuse me. And with school choice, that is, as a parent that deals with my kids in their schools, it is imperative for us as parents to have some type of base control of what is being inputted into our kids' minds, right? Just as a parent alone, we should be able to say, hey, this school right here works for my child. This school right here doesn't work for my child. I'm investing in my child's education, and I want the best for my child with the education that I'm investing my money into. If I see that this school that you're forcing my child to go to just because of their zip code or just because of what side of the street they're on based on the districts that you drew up, if it's not working for my child, I need to be able to put my child in the development of education, institution or place wherever that I see best for my child. That should not be an argument from anyone who has the child's best interest at heart. That's if anyone is against that, they are someone who honestly only care about the check that is coming to them through, political affiliations and endorsements, that they give, that in turn give them kickbacks, or people who are going to give them the contracts to come in and work in those schools. Like, if you're getting the money and you don't care about the kid, I have a big problem with that. And that's what base conservatives and Trump fought for. That's near and dear to my heart, is the school choice and education for the children. Next to that, I would argue it is his reform to not only business regulations, but also the way that money was being handled and put into communications and into businesses. I hit on that with the speech that he did on October 26, 2016, when he was saying, hey, listen, there's so much potential in the Black community. They need the money and the investment. And the way that these banks have been moving for so long, it's wrong. So we need to fix that so they can get the capital, so they can invest in their dreams and what they see in the future. So business and education right there, economics and education, we out the door. And then sprinkle a little sugar on top when he gave us the ability to modernize the music and get paid off the music that we was putting out. Because, man, Black folk the culture, bro. Black folk is literally the people who are dictating how music sounds, what entertainment looks like all of that. So for him to modernize that, for us to truly get paid off these streams and the money we were putting out, oh, man, come on, man, that's the win. It's the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, there's so much there I want to go into. First, let me just touch on absolutely. I mean, I love Edwin Starr, 1960s. The dude who wrote the song War, What Is It Good For? He has a song called I Like the Sound of Funky Music. That is straight rock. Sly and the Family Stone were rock. George Clinton basically brought a lot of the rock out. And then, being a music nerd, you listen to a Jimmy Page or even a Slash, and you hear all they're doing is old funk and soul, only they're, kind of chunking up the guitar, speeding up the lick, but you slow it down and it's literally something from, funk and soul from the 60s, which also is a whole nother thing we could get into. I was a hip hop kid. I grew up on hip hop. There's a part of me that loves hip hop in my soul so deep, man. However, you listen to James Brown, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. I live in America. I'm proud to be an American. Edwin Starr, War Is No Good. I like the sound of funky music because it sure enough turns me on. It brings people together. Sly and the Family Stone, We Got to Live Together, different strokes for different folks. And all of a sudden, somewhere it took a turn into, kill the dude next to me, go to prison, run the yard till I get the connections to pimp the hoes and slang the drugs. And now they don't even rhyme. Now there's no work put in. I was like, at least with the metaphor and a brilliant rhyme, you can get away. Now it's just dudes screaming from a prison phone, just mad. But they got echo on it with the beat. They're like, I'll kill you. Then I'll kill your mama. Then I'll fuck your wife. It's like, okay, but Like, I can go on any street corner and hear this from any. Why are you getting paid? What are you doing? Anyway,
Man,
that is a complete side note.
You're absolutely correct though, because Friday night. So the reason I had to cut the show, that I wanted to go longer with the show on Friday. Like I felt like Frieza. Like I wasn't even in my final form as I was going through that thing. Like there was so much that I left behind, man. But I had to get there to what we call Pope Palooza. And it's a showcase of local musicians. I can't just say rappers. It mainly ends up being rappers, but local musicians that come through and showcase their music in a legendary club in the city. And we do it monthly. It's been every 4th Friday as of recent. It's normally like 3rd Fridays, but it's been 4 Fridays recently. And I'm so thank Pope Palooza, Tat, Keish, Damo. Appreciate y'all for making it 4 Fridays. All right. Because y'all was killing me, Smalls, with the 3rd Friday, and I'm coming straight from River Street all day. So I appreciate y'all for that. Okay. Love you to death. Anyway, yeah, they showcase the music, and everything that comes through there is like shoot 'em up, take your baby mama, just like all of this, and it's like, oh my God. And then the girls that come through, it's, I'm gonna take your nigga and I'm gonna fuck him for all his money and I'm gonna leave him, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, where's the love?
What happened to Q-Tip? Yeah, man, what happened to conscious rap at least? You know what I mean? Like,
man, it's crazy. But I feel like they're scared to do it. Right? They truly are scared to actually do it. They think that it's not going to be accepted. People aren't going to like it. People aren't going to want it. So they don't do it. I feel as though if we provide the space for them, though, and show them that it can be done and there's nothing wrong with doing it, I think more people will be open to going the other route. It's the fact that there's so many Sukianas and so many Sexy Reds and so many young boys, and that they get played and invested in, that they feel like, hey, this is the way I have to go in order to be noticed. And I think nothing can be farther from the truth than that.
Yeah, and to speak to that, man, absolutely. It's annually. Man, I'm a rebel at heart. I'm a natural counterculturist, and I love the fact that for really the first time in my life, my inner desire to rebel against the system and what's going on in the world completely align. There is nothing more punk rock and against the system than being conservative or having conservative views, saying no war, you know what I mean? Saying that we need to come together. That's amazing. I love that. So I think that's what we need to do. And that's hip hop and punk rock came from the same place. It was
right.
It came from the streets, them streets, but it came from a place of rejected by everyone else. And so they had to create their own counterculture, their own shows, you know what I mean? To speak their own language to their own people. And so there's nothing more punk rock, edgy, rebellious against the system than supporting, Bryson Gray will be the first one, your boy, he'll be the first one to tell you, man, you want to talk about backlash? It's crazy. Back in the day, you talk about killing people, they were putting parental advisory stickers on. Now they're giving you #1 hits. You talk about keep your baby and stay off drugs. And you know what I mean? Then now they're like, woo. So anyway, goodness gracious.
My dog Marcel Dixon just checked in, man. My dog got that's my brother. He got that Seapolt blood, but he over in Carolina giving hell was it Clyburn? Old man Clyburn, man, he giving hell over there in the Pinnacle Arena, man. B1, my dog.
So, and to get back to the smart man stuff, you were talking about education was very important. I completely agree. And something you said there that I want to touch on. Yeah, usually the only people. And what up, Greg? What up, Leroy? Man, all these fun people. What up, Stuart?
Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, man. He's like, oh man, they done messed up. They let a white boy on the show. But anyway, here's the thing about. But anyway, infiltrating. But anyway, sorry. But I completely agree, man, that it's mainly just a check. I think there's one other group of people we have to worry about, and that is And you know as well as anyone, I'm way more centrist than a lot of folks. But I will say it's a lot of brainwashed people. It's those white single liberal women, and they're like, I need to send my kid to the poorest and worst school, and we need to have power, and we know better for parents, specifically and especially good parents, conservative parents, what's good for their kids. Because, we kind of hear it. And I think that that's the only other person we need to watch out for. But I absolutely agree. School choice is key, man. Just at the end of the day,
somebody need to be really, they need some. I don't know if your podcast is family friendly, but I definitely go ham. You know that I do. And I'm just going to say that those liberal women that's doing all that foolishness, they need some good conversation and some good penis in their life. And I think they'd straighten up. CNP.
They need some good MAGA dick. That'll fix the chick right up quick.
That'll fix it. If they're fixable. Now, some of them just not. They just plain not fixable. But if they're fixable, some good old MAGA dick will get them right.
We'll get them straight. I was out here tripping. You mean I could have a good man and a family and be happy? Woo! Right. I was out here trying to do drugs and sling my titties. What the hell was I thinking? I get it. I'm with it.
So anyway, that's not fixable though.
No, you're right. Hey man, as old as I am, I wifeyed mine up quick. You know what I mean? We were together for about 8 months, just got married in April, but you find a woman that's active in a church, school teacher. She was actually working for the post office trying to get a good school teacher job. Couldn't do it. Too liberal, too much BS. We moved back. I'm in the state of Oklahoma. She teamed up with 2 other teachers that share very similar values, and they're doing the damn thing good as they can right now.
Congratulations. Congrats.
But yeah, thank you so much. But yeah, man, you find a good one, wifey her up quick, keep her, you know what I mean? And just be like, thank you, God.
You ain't telling me nothing, bro. I'm feeling like the State Farm commercial. Gotta be quicker than that. You feel me? I'm trying to yank it back, man. Try to get it caught up in there. And I feel like it'll happen. But that is right, man. In this crazy world, man, like when you get a good one and you're shown that it's a good one, man, you got to go ahead and do what you're supposed to do, man. You got to go ahead and snatch it up. As long as y'all are aligned and y'all can make some things happen, man, y'all got to work. Especially now, man.
I showed her Tim Pool on our second date. True story. We did a little dinner. I had her come back to the crib, and I had her because I needed to know how she was going to react.
Right.
Because I knew she leaned a little more. She just leaned mainstream. She wasn't into politics, but you know how it is, man. If you don't pay attention, you know what you're gonna, you know what I mean? You'll be thinking I need 6 vaccines, Trump is the devil, and whatever. If I get pregnant, I need to kill the baby. So it is what it is, man. So and that's just mainstream nowadays, right? So I just put on Tim Pool because that's a very good there's enough people there talking and stuff. It's not like putting on Protocol. You know what I mean? You gotta ease a woman into Friday night flights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is definitely an ease. That is definitely an ease.
So and she was like, I knew then. She's like, I knew you had things that were important to you, and you stood for what you stood for. And she's like, believe it or not, even though I disagreed at the time a lot, that was what made me, mess with you. So, that's a thing there. Anyway, getting back to it, I knew it was gonna be like this because there's so much to talk about. But anyway, back to school choice, I completely agree, man. That you should be able to do what you want. In fact, I don't remember if it was something from your show. I was looking a lot at Trump clips. I don't remember if you played this Friday night or if I was just watching it yesterday. But there was a whole clip where he was talking about vocational schools. And you know how Trump talked, right? And he was like, we all know the horrible students. The guys were horrible students, but they can put an engine together. They're not dumb,
but they can man, you can blindfold them and they can take an engine apart and it's like you've never seen it done that way before. I mean, the guys, like the student, like yes.
But we know those guys, right? I'm not one of those guys. I wish I was.
Right.
But there are those dudes that, man, we need to bring that back. The fact that we've devalued that. And the fact that we've built a society. Did you happen to see the latest South Park special?
Enter the Pandaverse.
Yes. I don't know why you say I ain't Cartman. Why is it weird?
Yeah, whatever, lady.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that my favorite part was the handyman. You know what I mean? And you had lawyers sitting outside of Home Depot. Will lawyer for food? That was
Yeah.
but that's what it's getting back to, you
Yes,
know,
it
and
is.
wait till you know, as we've touched on, which is a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. I want to get back to the business thing real fast, which kind of ties into it. But you know, once the CBD switch is made, which I feel like is an inevitable switch coming.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
I really didn't want to believe it, and I thought, you know, our friend we watched, you know, that will not say the name Protocol, but anyway,
well, you know what? So it's hit and miss. I've noticed that it is hit and miss, right? You know, I think it was once this past week. I think maybe in a week and a half it was said, but then it was. I don't know if it was like a Freudian slip or you know.
Oh snap! I was reading the chat. I wasn't
Right.
mentally editing because I was reading the chat. Yes, that's
and
exactly.
then you know, then again it happened. It was like, oh. Okay, yeah, whatever. You know, like I'm picking up steam though, and it's fine. Like I'm so used to it. It is okay, but you can't avoid me, right? I'm like you can't despite how much you try to avoid, you can't because someone in your camp fucks with me. I'm sitting with the governor. Oh shit, this nigga is actually in the White House. Oh shit, like it's like you can't avoid me. You can do your best not to say anything, but the right people are going to see, they're going to notice. I'm going to get cool with those who are meant to be cool with, and I'm going to steadily move forward. Like I'm not the guy that I'm not skinny. That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I am not a skinny dude. Unfortunately, they want to put the skinny dudes up there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not clean cut. I'm not going to shave my beard. You know what I'm saying? Because I won't shave my beard, they're not going to put me on the, and it's okay. That's fine. I make my lane. I just make sure that just like I'm the one of the biggest niggas, if not the biggest nigga in the room, you can't help but see me. I'm fat and I got long hair and I smell good.
Well, and you know, and you don't remember, man. You know, our brother in question, he's in entertainment for the entertainment business, and you know that's kind of my background. And I can tell you it's different. With that, you need power, you need connections. And you're not the kind of guy that a guy like that in the sandbox he's playing in can avoid forever. Also, because you're presenting as an ally, you know, and you know, you're not like I hate you and I'm, you know what I mean? I'm here to take you down or you're just an idiot. You're like, I agree with a lot of what you say. I think working with you is effective, even if we're not 100 on everything, which no one is.
Right.
So, you know, I think a lot of it has to do with Sonny J, but that's all right.
Absolutely. It's fine, you know, because you know, I still love her, you know, and I still want to know, you know, hey, you all you gotta do is, and I understand, you know, lines are drawn in the sand. I like Kim Klacik.
Me
I
too.
like Kim Klacik.
Powerful.
Very powerful woman. And I think that, you know, what she was doing, Kim K knows what I know that I don't think Sonny J knows, even though she says she does, but I don't see that she does. Like, Kim K found out about this party politics shit. This party politics is a whole nother beast. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And she was a real one who was like, and from what I see, who was like, I let y'all do it. I was new to it. Now I know the truth, and I'm not going to tiptoe the line with y'all. I'm just going to be me. And if this means me, you know, getting cut off, and then the statement that she said was the truth. Like, I don't understand. And this is what pisses me off with a lot of these conservative mouthpieces that are, you know, black, you know, oh, the tide's changing and black folk are going to vote Republican. No, they're not. Black folk are going to vote Trump because black folk fuck with Trump, always have. But if you think that means that they're also going to go and vote for whatever Tom, Dick, Harry Republican is on the ballot and they're just going to go red down the ballot, you got another thing coming. That is not
They'll
these
leave it
people.
blank.
They'll leave it blank, or they'll still vote for the person who they know or feel as though they like. They're going to do that. So we have to actually get on the ground and make a concerted effort in making them look at conservative choices or being the conservative choice. You can go and talk to these people, and it's so funny because I have to start doing this. I don't like doing it, and I probably need to get somebody with a camera to follow me around and but like talking to people and asking them, hey, what way you vote? Well, I vote Democrat. You know the Democrat platform? What the hell is a platform? What you mean? What's a Democrat platform? Damn. You vote Democrat, right? Yeah. You don't know what the Democrats stand for? Like what they're pushing to get done? No. You feel me? Like it's like you guys aren't.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say that's what I experienced mainly when I lived in Hawaii, man, is that it's one of those, our side is bad, but their side is evil. And they pound you with so much propaganda. And you just, it's, yeah, our guys are trash. They don't help the folks, but the other side is a vote literally for Satan, for racism, for, putting women in, chains, whatever the case, which is a whole nother thing. But
it doesn't have to be either of those two. And that's why I'm so strong when it comes to like I fuck with the conservatives at the moment, Republicans at the moment, because when it comes to the basic choices that I need to make sure that my life and my family lives are truly best, they're the Republicans. They're the ones who are voting for me to keep my guns. They're the ones who are voting for me to be able to grow my own food. They're the ones who are trying to cut taxes and regulations so I can start a business. They're the ones who are pushing for home and property ownership. Like, it's them who want me to keep what it is that I need to sustain my family and my community. It's the other ones who are like, no, you can't own that. It's really got to be all government owned, and we just give y'all what y'all have, and y'all just take whatever it is that we tell you that is going to be, and red is really blue, and P is really the letter T, and like, no, it's not going to work that way. There are lines, there are definitions, and I'm going to vote for the people who are going to at least keep those lines where those lines are to be. It just is what it is. So, I digress because I really I'm tired of the uniparty, as I was speaking on about Georgia earlier. Like, there's a whole uniparty throughout the whole country, and these people just want to be in power. And I think it's got to get to a point to where we create our own situations and we move forward. I want to see parliaments like they have overseas. I want it to be like, 20 different parties inside the chamber, and y'all got to come together on the bare necessities on what keep us, there as a country, what keeps us in check. I want to see fights. Oh man, I was so happy the other day when that fight almost popped off in the Senate
with homeboy, former speaker. Yeah.
That was crazy. You want to go? Yeah, I want to go. You want to do it right now? Let's go. We'll stand your butt up. You stand your butt up.
You know where that senator was from, right?
No, where's he from? Is there yours?
Oklahoma.
Yes, yeah.
And he's an MMA fighter. Like, MMA is so big here. MMA could be the national or the state sport. Yeah, man.
Proud of your boy, man. Proud of your boy.
And that old bag of potatoes, that old bag of cottage cheese was like, bro, you got a problem? He's like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah, get up. And he stood right up.
Hey, man, buddy was talking big on the internet. Oh, I'll see him. It'll be on site. Oh, well, shoot. What's up? Here you go.
Now's the time.
Now's the time. Time and opportunity. Let's get to it. So
that's man, and that's what you learn. I could share here. I wouldn't share it. I spent a lot of time, in boxing gyms. Those are just my friends. I'm a huge MMA guy. I am by no means a badass, right? But I train. I think, if I had to fight, so I literally feel bad for somebody that wants to fight me who's never trained because they just don't understand. And I'm not a badass. You know what I mean? You are more humble if you spend time around good fighters, guys that are pros, that hold belts. And you're not trying to do any of that. You're just trying to stay in shape. And the gym ain't for you, but a boxing ring or a boxing gym is. Plus, it's your boys. You love your boys, man. And to be able, it's more of a boys hangout. But instead of watching football, we hit each other. But it's fun, But yeah, the funniest thing is the people who are always ready to fight, screaming, let's go on the internet are the last ones ready to fight. They have no idea. And my thing is like, Sean Strickland or any real fighter. I'm not going to just come on. You know what I mean? I will give you the address to my gym and you get me. You never know. The baddest motherfucker in the world can get caught. You catch me right around here with 7 pounds of pressure, you win. So let's just go and see. Let's just see. Maybe I've spent more time doing it than you. Maybe I'm better at it than you. Maybe I'm not. I'm not scared though. That's the difference.
That's the difference. That's the difference between men and pussies is whether or not you're about it or you're not about it. And I'm about it. I'm like, I have so many people that tell me, man, you got to stop. You can't be pull up culture, man. And I'm like, no, bro, I'm pull up culture. You feel me? I'm put an Addy on it. Like, you fix your lips. Like, oh man, I've had so many people fix their lips to call me a ring-tailed varmint. You know what I'm saying? That bandit varmint, you feel me? The coolest guy from the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? They always want to call me that guy. And it's like, nah, I'm not. But if you want to, you could put an address on it and I can show you just how much of that I'm not. I can be Rocket, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not the other guy. So, and it's crazy, but I'm that guy. Like, show me you about it. Like, you talk big, show me you're about it. If not, bro, don't get disrespectful like that. I got an address on all my disrespect, and it goes directly who it's supposed to go to.
Well, and even past that, man, I think this plays out in other parts of our lives, right? Like, you want to judge me for being moral or not. That's the worst thing about the internet is this weird Puritan, you know what I mean? You can cut your dick off. If somebody says the wrong shit, you can murder them, but somehow if you say the wrong word at the wrong time, you have to be cut out of society. And as they say, it would be better if you were locked up in prison because you support. It's like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But this plays out in that it's like, okay, you say you're about it. What are you doing for the holidays to help other people? Because I know I'm standing outside handing out food. I know I put together out of pocket a little comedy. Not much, but for what I can do in my community and where I'm at, if I had 20 grand loose to donate and spend, I would. I don't have that much, but I can show you what I've done and I can show you what I'm going to do. And my results are there. Now, whether you want to meet me at Oklahoma Combat Sports and Boxing Academy, or whether you want to meet me on the street and grab a few turkeys and put them in some bags for some less fortunate folks, I'll see you either place. Because the difference is I'm not scared. And I am in both motherfuckers every week. You know what I mean? So that's the difference, man. And, between these internet gangsters and the real ones, which I want to get, this is getting off topic, man. I want to get back to the business. I know you mentioned Trump's business, man. Right?
Let's go.
So important. Couple things that drove me crazy, which to me confirms uniparty, as you brought up. The first one is, and this is something that I found. I was watching Life, Liberty, and Levin one night by accident. I probably got too much good shit and was smoking it on a Sunday night and all this stuff. Like, what the hell's on TV, man? There's this angry Jew telling me that we need to bomb Russia. Why? Anyway.
Shut up, you kook.
Exactly. But he was showing a thing he was complaining about how in the budget that we passed, the largest increase is for global warming or whatever we're calling it now, climate change, environment effect. Bullshit, right? A big scam, money laundering hustle. But wait, there's more. Here's the most important part that I've not heard one Republican talk about, not one Democrat, no one talk about. The largest government program that was set to get cut, and I think they just cut it. I don't even think there was any fight, was the SBA, the Small Business Association. The one thing that I'm actually pro giving money, like of all the things I want to get, roads, yes, right? If I'm a hardcore libertarian, nothing else, basically. But, and even then, we can privatize roads, which that's another. But anyway, the point is, as the government stands now, if you're like, look, man, we're broken, but a chunk of the taxes you pay go for people that if they qualify, they get a loan from the government, which actually makes your taxes profitable because we get a return because it's a small business, low interest loan to help people achieve small business independence or financial independence. And that's what they're cutting the most. And no one's talked about it. And I'm like, this is the problem. The only guy that would have talked about it in the past 20 years that I know is Donald Trump. So love him or
Right.
hate him. Explain to me if you have any design on not punching a fucking clock for 40 years. Or if you want to do something, or if you have a friend, loved one, or family member that wants to run a business. Why are we supporting a government that is anti-small business and very pro-war and big business? And anyway, that I'm gonna get off on
No,
another thing,
preach,
which is the
man.
whole
Preach, man, because
uh
that's the truth.
and then these motherfuckers have the balls to come out and say, yeah, no, all this money we're giving to Israel and Ukraine is a economic stimulus because they buy American weapons. And so I'm like, what a horrible business plan.
Horrible business plan.
I can't open a fucking hot dog cart without regulations and taxes and more regulations and more taxes. And then what little money the government would have given me to help me, now I don't even get that because somewhere it's hotter than it was last year. But by the same token, the real stimulus plan is going to work for Northrop Grumman or some bullshit on a factory line until somebody comes in, calms the fuck down, and says maybe we shouldn't be in war. But then the economy crashes. So do you see what I'm saying? Sorry,
we're due for, no, you're fine. We're due for a crash, and I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I want the crash. Like, that was something that I was looking forward to during Trump because there was a parallel economy being built, and that's why so much money was being bumped into the Small Business Administration. So much money was being bumped as far as opportunity zones and building up new business. That's why we were bringing the manufacturing back here, right? Was because they knew, right? So I'll tell any and everybody, I don't care who likes it, who don't like it. You can kiss my ass because I got my own understanding, and from what Pro understands, Pro knows. Excuse me. I believe in the team of more than 3 and less than 10, okay? My favorite letter of the alphabet is number 17, okay? I'm that guy. And that comes from me being at an event and literally saying, hey, we're with you 17 plus. And he looks over and he winks. All right? When I call him, and I actually said the letter plus, all right? I ain't going to say the letter because, they're going to get crazy. And there's a difference between 17 anon and just 17. There's a difference. Yeah. And if people want to talk about the difference, like literally it's two separate. You have the anons who do what they do, and then you have the intelligence team that does what they do, okay? Like, it just is what it is. So don't let the news scare you and all that stuff. Come talk to me, and I can walk you through some things. But in saying it to him, and he addressed it, I was in there. I was set. I was good. I ain't going to say I fully I trust the plan for what it could be, but I know, and I've always known that it's up to us to truly carry the plan out as it was supposed to be. Like, we have to, there's Hannibal said it best. I love it when a good plan comes together, right? We have to do our part to make sure that the plan comes together. We actually have to work it ourselves. So, in saying all that, getting back to the economy and the economy crashing, I knew that it was going down. I knew the dollar was on the way down. It couldn't sustain. We know about the Rothschilds. We know about the IRS. We know about the bank system being what the bank system is. So the parallel economy was being built on the side, and they knew that. There comes COVID. COVID came in to shut us down, right? They came in to stop the economy from roaring, to stop the people from building, and to stop the people from being able to have that cushion to fall over on when the big main system fell, right? So they removed that from us, and it's still going to fall. Like, it has no choice but to fall. It's unsustainable. I've been crying about bricks, since 2017, 2018, something like that. Like, I saw them being formed. They're going to take over as the world reserve, dollar, the world reserve currency. Yeah. It's the big economies. Like, people want to play that it's not the big economies, but okay, fine. It's not we won't call it the biggest economies of the world. We can definitely call it the biggest landmass countries of the world, though. You got Brazil, you got Russia, you got China, you got India. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much of the world is that covering when you mention, Russia, China, India, and Brazil? That's a whole lot of landmass that we're talking about that's being covered within this here economic structure. And then you have their partnerships that they're working with the continent of Africa and all those different countries that are within it. Like, that is a lot. That's a lot of production, and that's a lot of consumerism, right? And that's a lot of room for development, because although America is developed, Africa is nowhere near as developed as America, right? Nowhere near as developed as places like Hong Kong, right? Like, they have the opportunity to build, and they perfected things. Like, we still have buildings in America that are standing from the 15, 16, 1700s, right? They don't have that. So now we have the new stuff that we perfected in the 2000s. That's their ground level from where they're building up from.
Man, and to blow your mind and to go even deeper into that, Kazakhstan, for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we think of Kazakhstan, we think of goats and goat farmers. There is a city they built in 2021. Theory is this is what they're trying to do to Lahaina, Maui, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's this new city, and they moved the capital of Kazakhstan there. And we think that it's all just, beat up old country stuff. And there are these the BRICS basically is coming in. It's what they're doing in Africa too. And I don't remember where I heard it, but in studying, they did this crazy thing where like China went into Africa instead of taking your oil and putting military bases around, what if we built you roads? What if we built you reliable water and electricity? Because then I know you're dependent on me for the pumps that do the water and the electricity. And not only that, but life is bleak in many places, and this gives them a chance. But then, once again, we slap back to that one world thing and no freedom. And it's freaking hard, man. You know what I mean? I do not believe in a one. In fact, I believe in balkanization of the entire planet. I would like it if we almost went county by county, right?
Right.
Because I believe the tree bears fruit. So if your county, literally the county away, you know what I mean? If you want to be crazy and wild and super blue, Che Guevara, level Marxist. And in my county, we are old school. You know what I mean? Church on Sunday, kids don't do drugs. If you drink over 21. And you know what I mean? You keep that shit tight. And if you put that in the city, we throw you in jail or kick you out. And then the tree will bear fruit, and then you'll see which place you want to be. And I think that's that's a big thing that they depend on, is not allowing, and why they come after places like Oklahoma and places like that, because they can have people living. And then they go, well, we have so much more money. Yeah, money we create. Money people in Georgia and Oklahoma create through oil and cattle and that kind of thing. Now weed is the number one cash crop here. So what are you gonna do? But
I'm on the way behind it, man. I'm on the way. I got 22 acres. I'm about to have fun, boy.
Man, you think 47 will legalize it? 45/47, you think will legalize it nationwide?
If given the opportunity, I think he would. But I'm pissed off with him. I've said this before, and I'll say it 1,000 times over. That was the stupidest shit you could have ever done by leaving that on the table for Biden.
Yeah.
Stupidest shit you could have ever done by leaving that on the table for Biden. But
it doesn't look like he's going that way. Yeah, well, it's too late now. He's not going to get it through Congress, you think, by next election?
Well, that's you know what now? That is the biggest problem. The biggest problem is he doesn't have the House, right? He doesn't have the House. But he could push for it, have them introduce the bill, have the Republicans shoot down the bill, and say, hey, look, black people, hey, black people. See, I had this legislation. I want to legalize weed. And I also wanted to, let people out of jail who may be in jail for weed charges. You know what I'm saying? But look what those racist Republicans did.
That's fair. I mean,
Look
that's how they're
what
gonna
these
play it.
racist Republicans did, and there it is.
I kind of like it the way it is now. It needs to be looser. The regulations need to be way looser. Needs to be more votes, I think, annually at least. But man, I like the states' rights. Meaning, if in your state you want it to be completely illegal, then that's your call. In Oklahoma, you got to get a license. You got to see a doctor. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. You know what? It's a Dr. Phil. It's not like
right.
Nobody
there's
needs
doctors,
weed. But.
There's doctors who'll see, there are herbologists out there. There are
yes, thank God.
and
thank
that's
God,
my thing is with it is I want so. I'm a believer in Genesis 1:29. All right. I'm out the Bible Belt, so I'm a believer in Genesis 1:29. And I'm a believer in him or the creator or whatever, the higher divine power stating, hey, every herb, every tree that bears its own seed and it comes of the land, it is yours for your usage. Cool.
Agreed.
I'm not with the extra stuff, the powder and the heroin and all the other stuff, where you got to add extra stuff and people cutting it with all kind of foolishness. Like, nah, I ain't with that. It's a straight plant. Cool. You doing some extra stuff? Got a problem.
Fair. Well, and that's how you know you get old, man, anyway. Like, I was a fun partier for years, right? And I turned over 40. This is how I know I got old. People quit offering me drugs. I go out tonight. I'm like, hey, man, you know where some E is? What about a little go-go juice, little nose candy? And they're like, get away from me, narc. What are you, a fan?
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm just a dude in my 40s that wants to have a good time. Shit.
No, you're a narc, bro.
Exactly.
And that's and that's where, again, as in getting older, you have your set person you deal with, right? Everything that I do,
your guy, yeah,
everything I do comes from a dispensary, bro.
Fair,
everything's a dispensary. I used to love Struggle Pack before fentanyl went crazy. Now I don't want no Struggle Pack. Now it's like it's like we really is living Cat Williams a Pimp Chronicles situation, right?
Yes.
We got that Crypto Chronicle like nigga. You know what I'm saying? They got that death.
You smoke one hit, you'll be dead. Well, I don't want to. Shout out to Cat Williams, by the way. Got to open for him in Hawaii. Love him. So
that's
man.
Up, man.
It is. I absolutely use it, man. I know so many addicts. I'm happily, using weed here and there, daily. But here, meeting in the studio, there meeting the bathroom, there meeting the living room. I here and there. There, meeting the car, and in the back of your establishment, just wherever. But but yeah, no, I've known so many addicts who have used marijuana to get off other things. In fact, I've known depressed people and people with other challenges that the doctor had them twisted up on 5, 6, 7, medications. And I'm talking, they don't become crazy stoners, but 3, 4 hits off a vape stick, a half a joint in a night, and they feel better. And now that it's completely legal and they're off, 4 different doctors' medications, that's a blessing to me, man. I can't argue that at all. And also, yeah, it keeps you calm, man. I think it's like anything else. I try to be careful about being an addict. It's so funny. We're so far off topics, but I love this conversation with you, man. I try to be careful. Yeah, man. Anything that I put in my body where I'm like, oh, I like coffee. For me, I will tell you, nicotine, weed, and sugar and caffeine. Right, those are my 4 addictions. Right. Believe it or not, weed, you can put down. It's so not as addictive to me as, say, sugar or caffeine. You know what I mean? Thank you, Amber. Healing powers of the Lord. Yes. So, but I'm like, okay, I do a little nicotine here and there. My coffee would be the main one. I need that coffee every morning. And I know that's an addiction. That is something that I don't function without this other chemical. So I'm working on that. But hey, man, we got a lot bigger problems to solve. If they got coffee on the battlefield, no, I can handle it. So, but yeah, I haven't drank. April will make 4 years. I haven't had a drop of alcohol, no hard drugs. So, Yeah, man. God bless the marijuana. And you know what's funny is it's about 5 years that I switched from, being a Che Guevara level liberal to conservative, man. So go figure out how that works. You know what I mean? God is good, no joke. But goodness gracious, we got out. But I think yes, it's very important. I think that's also a sell. What I wanted to talk to you about a little bit is something that I think that the conservative folks are really dropping the ball on, and that is the Black experience. And I hate to say, as a white dude, it's like, ew, right? But let me give my whiteys out there an example, right? Just to give you an example, okay, of what you may not know. Okay, I like watching reality TV for a lot of reasons. One is it shows me how people behave, right? So let's talk about, for instance, one of the most popular reality shows in the history of reality, one of my favorites, Survivor. If you look at it, they vote off the Black people even when they're mild threats. Now, I think that it's like, oh, well, he's Black. They vote off the Black people. Bing, bing, bing. They're always the first 5 to go out of 18 normally. That is, in a couple out of 40 seasons, you've had your anomalies, but mainly
it's always been that way, man. It's like the scary movies. We're the first one to go in scary movie. Like,
shout out to Jasmine, and she's right. The big farm does want those pills. But then what I mean is that, and I think it's tribal. We are tribal. And that if it was Survivor in Africa and it was 18, say it was 12 Black folk and 6 white folk, the white folk might get it, or 4 white folk and 2 Asian folk, the way they do it, mix it up. The white folk would probably get voted off quick. And you have to ask yourself why. It's like, well, because they have a sense of culture, because they have a sense of family. It's something that I think white folk are subconsciously intimidated by, because we've been so co-opted. As a Christian, you've been taught to water your message down. If you're not a Christian, you've been taught that you're white, so you're evil naturally, which is not the case. And I'm not saying you're racist. I'm saying that this is something that Black folks deal with. Now, let's go to my other favorite longest running show, which is Top Chef. I had to stop watching it. Season 1, episode 13, right? So me and my wife were sitting there the other night watching it, and I hadn't watched it in years, streaming and stuff. And me and my wife, when we're chilling after dinner, like to watch about an hour or 2 of TV, just chill, me and her, right? Because we're poor, so that's all we get to do. But anyway, don't worry about us, all right? But anyway,
well, I swear, boy, I wish I was living poor like you. That's a nice looking fireplace for a poor man.
Bro, that's a green screen. This is 100% green screen. Do not believe the hype.
It's a green screen. I know it's a green screen, but you took the picture in the living room and put it behind you. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Like, that's what that is.
Gangster living. But so on this Top Chef, right? They take a white dude and a Black dude, right? They got to face off at the end of the show to cook off for their life. They take them to a slave plantation in like South Carolina. Seriously, no joke. You can look this up. Season 13, I want to say episode 1 or 2 of Top Chef. They put a white dude against a Black dude. They take them to a slave plantation. And the only mention they say is it's important to remember the history here. And now for the cook-off. And I remember as they're rolling in, the Black dude was like, are they taking us to a slave plantation? And they did. And then, of course, the Black guy loses.
Stop it.
Yes. He lost.
Okay.
He got
all
kicked
right.
off the show. Yes.
Okay. What ingredients did they give them on the dish to make? I'm gonna watch. You know what? I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna go find it.
I'll find the link and send it. Yes,
that
I
works.
couldn't believe it. And they were like, "Well, you get to go to Last Chance Island." I'm like, "So you're kicking the Black man off of the plantation, and then you're exiling him because you can't just let him go and be about his own business to be free. No, you got to put him on a fucking island, and he might get a chance to cook his way. All right, Sambo, sing and dance your way off this island. It's
make his ass a sharecropper quickly. That's so fucked up, man. But that is the subliminal messaging and the things that they do, the programming that they do within these TV shows, along with so much of the other entertainment out there that really fucks us up. That's what got me when I first went to school. When I graduated high school, went to college, I went to my first HBCU, Albany State. You know what I'm saying? And it's so funny that Trump was talking about, realize potential, and our slogan at the time at our school was potential realized, right? I got into mass comm after starting computer science. Went into computer science and was like, oh, hell no. Got into mass comm and was like, hell yes. One of the first things that I learned was programming, program director, the whole understanding and the mindset of what they were doing or moving towards in media at the time. So this is 2007. This is 2007, 2008 time frame when I'm learning this. Of course, people who go to school or people who learn particular pathways or whatever it is they're going after in college, it changes throughout the years. Like their direction of where they're headed and what they're doing changes within the years. So at this time, this was, leading where we are now, they was pushing and teaching about, programming, directing people, putting out the actual mindset that we want people to use, right? To have, in their everyday living. They were talking about the psychoanalysis of what they're doing. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, so you guys are really on some program the minds of the people who are watching your shows and listening to your programming. It's like, damn. And then I started paying attention because at that time I'm DJing on radio, I'm DJing in clubs, and I'm listening to the music we're putting out. And then I'm watching what's happening in the streets and in everyday life. And I'm like, holy shit. They're doing this. And it is so evident when you know, right? Like when you know. So it's fucked up, to say the least, what these people do in the name of money and in the name of control. And right. It's in our faces.
Yeah, and not trying to sound like a Destiny podcast with his token black guest. That is not, I just realized that's what we could have been. What I'm trying to say is my whole point. By the way, my man Marquez Stewart said, or Marquise, I'm not sure, said Golden Rams. Marcus. And I got to tell you, yeah, but Langston Lions, bro. Langston Lions all day. Nah, you know what I mean?
Golden Rams, baby. You know what I'm saying? What is a Langston Lion? What is
That's
that?
HBCU. The Oklahoma.
What is that?
What is even a
the Oklahoma way over there? You know what I'm saying? We'll respect them because they in the family. However, it's East Coast living over here, where the real HBCUs, hold it down and call home.
That's y'all brought. Yeah, no, yes, sir. Absolutely. But our white boys play good football. Our white colleges have great football.
You're right. Listen, you white boys even come to the HBCUs and perform greatly on our athletics. Listen, our golf teams wouldn't be the same without y'all, and our baseball teams wouldn't play. So we appreciate y'all.
Hey man, look, if I didn't go to an HBCU, nobody would have had clean jock straps or socks, you know what I mean, before they played them games.
You was the best equipment manager you could be, brother. Appreciate you.
Well, it was assistant equipment manager, but let's not split hairs.
Hey man, listen, that's cool. You got the experience, you know what I'm saying, of an HBCU. And most people, I think that, especially, just being a black man from the South, I think that the HBCU experience is needed in the lives of so many of our kids. Even if you don't go to school at an HBCU, just dealing with the people on the campus of an HBCU is so life-changing, right? I did my 4 years, 2 in one school, 2 in another. I realized the Ponzi scheme and was like, you know what? I'm going to work these networks that I know, and I'm going to make some things happen. And I took my business to a new level, and I became a contracted worker with the HBCU, and I did my thing mentoring and putting out, good vibes on the campus. And I had a lot of great students come out from under my tutelage, man. I got a lot of great alumni out of Savannah State, and that's what it was all about, man. Just getting in there. And why is Tina Turner on the bottom of my computer? I'm sorry. I just looked down and just noticed Tina Turner was at the bottom of my computer in my search bar, and it kind of freaked me out because, there should be no Tina.
As long as she didn't die, we're good.
Man, Tina gone, bro. Tina checked out earlier this year.
Right. Yeah, because she was 80, big bucket of win.
Yeah, she was over
my bad.
Overseas. That's why I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, she married that rich Danish dude and was living like a queen in Danish land. So, and I say good for her. And one thing I wanted to touch on with HBCU is band. I have one word, band.
Yes.
What they do, and that's a problem with white colleges is that made fun of and stuff. Not at a HBCU, man. That shit is real. And
don't think we didn't get made fun of being in the band too. Now it is real. It is. Listen. they love us on the field when we out there doing the shows and we putting all the different things out on the field. They love it when we do that, right? They love us percussion members, you know what I'm saying? Because we do things with the drums, like it just be awesome. They love us there. But as a regular day, nigga, please, you a geek, you a old band head, like you, like it's still, bro. They still Jones on us outside of that. But when we in them stands though, and we be jamming, they enjoy it. When we on the field and we jamming, they enjoy it. But we have to bring back that. You know, we was talking about bringing back the music earlier. Like that's one thing, because I'm a band head, right? I marched at the greatest high school band that the city of Savannah has ever seen. That's that AE Beach High School marching band. You understand? That is the oldest
What'd you play?
black. I'm a bass drummer. I'm a percussionist, but I play bass drum.
Nice.
I've always been a big guy. I was supposed to be on the football field, but I in turn realized that wait a minute, I can go to the same games the football players go to. I can do more because I can do parades. We got overnight field trips, and it's girls. Oh, nigga, let's go. There's no question about it. Let's go. And, you know, it was all history. And then from going from the band, it took me to college at Albany State to be in the band. And then that evolved into working on radio and becoming a DJ. And then, hey, look, you know, there's a protocol now. You know, all those many years later, you know, protocol evolved just from being a band head. So, you know, that's another thing that's an experience on top of, you know, just HBCU life in general, like just being a musician. I think being in a band, it opens up different sides of the mind, different areas for you to be in as a person. Yeah, that's what I believe. But yeah, both HBCUs to the end, I think we need to do what we got to do to save them and make them better. I think as a community, we have to pour into them more, because they're not being poured into like they should be poured into right now. And that was one thing that, you know, 45, he knew HBCUs are important, you know. They're major to the community, so they need to be poured into, and they need to be sustained, and they need to be lifted up. But it's also up to the people to get involved and lift them up. And they've been so, my people been so lulled to sleep by Democrat platitudes and
TikTok, hip hop, you name
it. right. Those are
when like, you say my people, forgive afterwards. Me, but you know, poor folks share a lot. You know,
right. Poor folk do share a lot. Like I'm not even gonna hold that. That's where the blending of it came in, right? It's like, you know, it went from being directed at just one sector of people, like we said earlier in the show, you know, it went from being directed at one sector of people to where like now it's everybody, right? And I'm always going to be about everybody. That is about the forward progression of us all. That's always going to be there. But before I could get there, and this is something that I'm working on so hard in myself, and it's not like a mint prejudice or anything, but it's like you said, you know, when we're talking about Survivor, like it's a cultural cliquish type situation, right? It's that attachment situation. So in having that attachment situation, I'm always going to want to see Black folk do and be better. I want my white folk to do and be better as well, right? But just because of just for relatability purposes, like I want to see them in the best light possible, because if they're great, then I got somebody to assist in making us all great. That's just the way that I, you know, felt or feel rather. And again, that doesn't take away, because my greatest supporters, my first girlfriend was white. You know what I'm saying? Like my first real best friend in life, you know what I'm saying, is a white boy, you know, like
I can tell you dipped your coat in the vanilla ice cream.
Oh yeah, man, you know, like I've definitely had some vanilla in my life, you know what I'm saying?
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it.
I always thought I'd end up with a sister, but you know, you get to a certain age, you're like, let me just snag up what I can get that loves me back.
Right,
so,
right.
I was blessed to have what I have, but I completely understand, and you know, that's to speak to that, man. That's tribalism that has to overcome by being a minority in a country. Period. Once again, something I don't understand. Now, growing up below the poverty line, growing up with no father, no brothers, no sisters. While it is a different experience. I did not grow up mainly around white folks, right? So that was a problem I actually had for a little while. Is you have to stop looking at things like a black man because you're not. So you have to stop getting, which is fine. I'm mad about it, but you're taught a certain way. Like
I
let
just
me give you an
literally
example.
thought about Mowgli on
Yeah.
the Jungle Book, right? You're not a
Yeah.
wolf, you sure? Tarzan,
if
you're not an
somebody
ape, are
yeah.
you sure?
If somebody took you in your most formative years, if somebody took a low protocol 5 years old and dropped him off in, Brazil, you know what I'm saying? In the favelas of Brazil till he was 19, you know what I mean? It's one of those you would be influenced differently, which that's why I love Hawaii, because you have black people who only speak Japanese there. And you would
Right.
never think this person is black, and they don't speak English. They speak Japanese and maybe a little Thai, right? And you have Spanish looking dudes who, don't speak a lick of Spanish. And then you have Asian looking cats who, because they are in Hawaii, it's such a mixed bowl, you'll have a Japanese dude, a Chinese dude. Now I could tell them apart at this point, but white's got to be the worst. You know what I mean? I was talking to somebody, I was like, I was trying to explain to somebody, we're talking to a Japanese person, they were frustrated. I was like, you got to understand, they can't tell the difference between me and a dude from Germany and a dude from Florida versus, it's like, think about it. A dude from Washington State and a dude from Florida are very different, right? Now imagine if it's a dude from Germany or Canada. They don't know the difference, man. You have to be, that's the American problem. But anyway,
Right.
I digress. Back to the point of the tribalism and wanting to see your smaller tribe do better. And what I wanted to touch on with that is that's something I grew up a little envious of, was because being with just me and my mom and not having a supportive family system, even the black kids I grew up with, my friends, that I knew and hung out with, they had a bit more of that, at least.
Right.
Something that's crap is it frustrates me, once again, a conservative talking point is that black men don't take care of their kids and, black fathers aren't available. That's crazy, man. Black fathers took care of me.
Right.
I didn't, if it weren't
Right.
for the black coaches at the YMCA, the black volunteer, coaches and just the dudes who on Sunday took you to the park to hang out and stuff like that. I was a hyperactive kid. If it weren't for those dudes who were good to somebody like me, I wouldn't be where I am today. So it blows me away that we've kind of perpetuated that narrative, to be negative. And that's what I was going to ask you. How do you think, as conservatives, we can do a better job? Because right now, as we know, the black vote is 90+% Democratic, period. Right. And that's, I'm not, I'm not trying to make I'm just making a factual statement. So, and I feel like there's such a wide open thing, because most of anybody I know that comes, from a place where it isn't just white privilege, they want to do better. And even a lot of white privilege cats I know, but you want to do better. You want to do better for your family. Most of the cats I know, if you have stuff and you're good and you're not struggling to pay your light bill, you want other people to have stuff, because you don't want to live in a world where you're rich and they're all poor.
Right. Because you're a target now.
Exactly.
You're a target.
And exactly. You better share. So,
yeah.
But not only that, but any intelligent person knows, as you said at the beginning, we are culture. You know what I mean? What, like it or not, when it comes to music, comedy, me and my boy Damon Detroit, we're talking about, there's not that many funny white people anymore. There's still a lot of funny black folk. There's not that many fun, and all the funny white people are old, right? The older dudes. So, but one of those situations where what can folks do? And the problem is, we hear the word racist and we get so defensive. You know what I mean?
Right.
LS, it won't be 90% this time around. You're right. We get so defensive. It's like, I'm not racist. I would never want or wish ill on a black person. And that's why I like words like tribalist. It's like, bro, you don't understand this, but if you and 10 white boys were thrown into Zimbabwe, you know what I mean? And you would naturally team up together, especially if you come from the same region of your country, USA. And that's just how it works. That's why you have Filipino parts of town and Mexican parts of town, and you know what I mean? And that kind of thing. So
I'll break it down even smaller. That's why you have jock tables, and you have the the socialite kid table and the band geek table and the what do you call them, the emos, right? Everybody has their own little section in the lunchroom because that's where they feel comfortable at. So it's nothing wrong with it as long as you guys can still live together, you can trade together. There's no issues when you guys are in one setting as you are in the lunchroom right now. There's nothing wrong with it. You're going to go where you're comfortable. As far as what conservatives can do where they're dropping the ball in like the black community, well, really, all they can do is support people who are in the community, right? People like me. If they step up more and support people like me who are in the community, who don't mind talking to them, who don't mind being in the room, who don't mind building, but still have the connection in the hood, in the community, like, let us do what we do. And when we say, hey, I need you here, show up there, right? When I say, hey, I need support with this, support with that. This is what I need. I can't expect someone like, you're a white boy that actually spent time in the hood. You had black fathers that, invested their time into you to make sure that you became the young man that you are, because you were a young man that was growing up that needed pouring into, right? So you happen to be amongst the culture. You got to see and learn what it meant to be in the culture. You're not guesstimating on, oh, black fathers aren't in the community. It's, oh, black fathers are in the community, right?
And busting their ass, by the way.
And busting their ass, right?
The biggest crime, in my opinion, is that the black middle class man is not represented anywhere. Black people are either victims, thugs, or gangster rapper moguls. And the black man who has the family that works his ass off, whether he owns a small business, you know what I mean? He's going to work for somebody else. He's busting his ass. He's there at his kid's graduation. He's there at his kid's game. He loves his wife. You know what I mean? That man is not represented really in society. Why not? Right? For lack of a better term, the Bill Cosby dude. You know what I mean?
Because we're not presenting ourselves as a whole, right? It's a different day and age now, right? We have what we're doing right now, right? We're broadcasting to all the social medias of the world, right? All of the people on the worldwide interwebs can now see what we have going on. They can see the representation of the hard middle class working father that isn't about the BS, right? We just have to push it. Right. We just have to be out there and be the face of it. Of course, we're battling, the stuff that they're putting out for us to consume. We're battling the cell phone being taped on the ceiling. We're battling the rage monkey TikTok trend, right? We're battling baddies. We're battling all this other programming that is meant for us to consume and not be on the better side of building sustainable communities and families. Because again, that's not the goal. The goal isn't for us to be sustainable communities and families. The goal is for us to be beholden to them, needing them in order to take care of us, and be as dysfunctional as possible for them to obtain what it is they need to obtain. So we have to be the ones that push it, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be a true organic situation, and we have to pay attention because they'll do us like they did the Black Panthers or anybody else. Once we get too big for our britches, they will tear us down. I mean, fuck, they're doing it to Trump right now. He got too big for the britches, and they are going in. They are going in to tear it down, and we can't allow them to do that. We got to stand stead strong, and we got to kick ass. And I think we can get there. I watch my numbers and my comments on Facebook. There's no way with 1,000 some odd followers I get the numbers that I get, and I know they're lies. I've watched my live go from 2 explode to 80 and then drop back down to, and it's like, wait a minute, huh? What are you doing?
Bro, I've liked your stuff and it unlikes it. Like you'll be live and I'll like your stuff and I come back and it's not liked and I have to like it again, or I'll leave a comment and it doesn't go. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll leave the comment again. I'm like, man, they don't want you.
No, they don't. You know,
you're the most dangerous person to the regime, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
I believe that, bro. I believe that because
absolutely.
I'm not the normal narrative, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am a pro-black Proud Boy. Allegedly, that is not supposed to happen, you know?
I wasn't gonna out you. I was gonna wait if you wanted to say,
oh man, listen,
you wanted
bro,
to claim it live.
Bro, I'm out here. You know, when I go to the club, I'm in my hoodie. You feel me? It says pro over my heart. You know what I'm saying? It says, you know, fuck Antifa to my right. You know, it says Proud Boy down my left arm, and I'm in the club. You know, I'm in the streets with the hoodie on. I got, you know, my hat that I wear. Like, bro, like, I don't care. Like, and I tell this to my brothers, you know, all the time. Like, we are not what they say we are. So because we're not what they say we are, there's only one way we're going to be able to show the world that we are not who they say we are. And that is by being us and letting them know that, yes, I am. And I'm completely against your name. They're a bunch of white supremacists. Oh my God. He has a black liberation flag behind him in all his videos. How? Narrative busted.
When that's, hey, man, one of my favorite sayings is, you know, you go to war with the army you have, not the one you want. Right?
That's it.
And the whole Gideon thing, you know, and you know, drinking the water and you know, if you're ready for war, you know, and you got too many men. It's like, why would you ever have too many men going to war? It's like, because, you know, you want the right men. You know, like I said before, one of my favorite art of war sayings is, one good spy is worth 1,000 good soldiers. And you know, and that's that is, for lack of a better way to say it, their concern, right? Because a lot of what they base their shit on is black people are either victims or super duper successful. If they're super duper successful, it's because not racist white people have helped them and given them their opportunity. And if they're victims, it's because racist white people haven't helped them and given them their opportunities.
So
no, I'm not saying that doesn't exist, you know, sure, okay, ish, right? But that's not the reality of it. Most, you know, in my opinion, most people, we're out here working. One, it's Christmas. Most of my friends are getting an extra job, you know, picking something else up. We're working 1-2 jobs. We're trying to give our families a little bit better. And then we're under crazy hyperinflation and war. I don't understand it, man. And I don't understand why both parties. Trump said the most brilliant thing. Once again, man, I'm rolling with Trump, because you put somebody better out there, I'll fuck with them. But until then, Trump is my guy. And until you can bring me real shit to stick on him. You know what I mean? Really, not shit that your favorite rapper brags about every time you get in your car. Not shit that's just blatantly untrue and lies. Not the old school, well, he's racist. No, none of that. But bring me some real shit. Because honestly, straight up, in my opinion, and digging, he's probably one of the most legit presidents we've ever had. Was he perfect? Hell no. I'm still mad at him over COVID. That's another thing. But that's done.
We can jump into that too, because he was forced to do some of the things that he did. And he went with, so I did a special. It's on my Rumble page, right? I did a special where it was talking about all the wonderful, all the things that he did during COVID and what we left on the table, right? He did a briefing from the White House, right? He had a whole bunch of NASA engineers and doctors and all kind of stuff. Like, this is when he first mentioned the disinfectant, right? When he talked about the disinfectant gas that you could put inside your body. So, like, a lot of people didn't know about the O3, right? The O3 treatment, which is where you breathe in the gas and it literally disinfects your body. Now, this has been used for years, right? They disinfect your body. They disinfect a lot of the equipment with it. They disinfect the ambulances with it. Like, they've been using this gas for treatment. So they figured out a way that you could, they found out that, hey, it does work for COVID. So it was like, yeah, you can do the body disinfectant, whatever. Oh, he wants you to inject yourself with bleach and inhale Lysol. No, that's not what he said. But he said disinfectant, and that's the first thing that your stupid ass mind went to. And he let them run with it. Now, he could have fought harder, but they let the people do the work. Like, okay, are y'all going to really sit here and lie to the American people? Like, you guys have been doing it, American people. Are you going to sit back and let them lie to you? Like, what are you going to do? Because you can look up yourself body disinfectant and you'll find out about the O3 gas treatment. You can look up yourself about these different, they talked about, he talked about the light, and you can use a light and get rid of the disease. Well, yeah, it's called far UVC lighting. And they've been using far UVC lighting for a very long time. But
I legitimately know about that. Yeah, meaning I don't know about it, but I know for a fact that it is something that they recommend in Germany. I've got a friend from Germany. He's like, yeah, we do light treatment, just like your tanning and how it affects your body. It's a bed you lay in, and they do light treatment, and it kills germs in your body or viruses in your body.
They had the light that you could honestly put the light up at the front door. And as people were walking through the front door of businesses and establishments, right, killed it like that. They had pieces that you could insert into your AC units, right, in your returns that is running the AC through your building. As it sucked up the air, it killed it and put clean air back into your environment. We had this technology during the COVID thing, and I'm sitting here like, yo, this man, and like I said, it's a special on my Rumble page. I went through how he was the only person, I think the title was something like, how Trump's the only politician that cared about us during COVID or something like that. It was like the first or second video, I had ever put on my Rumble page. It was when I was doing Facebook Lives before they deleted my page, and got rid of all my stuff. I was able to save it. I was a smart guy. I started downloading all of my stuff on Facebook. Like every so often, periodically, I'll just go download everything that I put up just in case Facebook get rid of me, because I do believe they're going to get rid of me definitely before the 24 election. Like, it's going to happen before the 24 election.
Yeah, so, but not to sound too hood, but I bought like $6 worth of stars to give you, and you were like, "No, man, I don't want your stars. I'm trying to get off Facebook." I'm like, "All right, well, you owe me Starbucks when I see you next."
Shoot, that's just send it. I tell everybody, man, send it to the Cash App or something better and
cheaper, way cheap. They don't get their, it's that processing fee. I think I'm going Rumble. That's my new plan.
Yeah,
because the Rumble dudes are accessible. Like, you can get to those dudes if you're doing something good.
Okay.
And I think I want to try to do something on Rumble, and then in February, make sure we'll figure out when it is. But in February, when we do the Grifties, because I'll be doing some show running and presenting there. And then want to see you, bro, and we can do some things. But yeah,
I'm in Jersey.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Supposedly some Rumble hitters are gonna be there. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So yeah, man. So that's key there. So
plus, I'd like you to roll up on.
I'd like you to roll up on the man and be like, "Why don't you say my name, player?"
Come on, man. You know who I want to see? Who is going to be there?
Rudy.
Nah, I do want to see Rudy though. That's my boy, man. I love Rudy, man. I am anxious to meet Rudy. I'm anxious to meet Cannon. I'm anxious to meet the hotepiest Jesus ever. You know what I'm saying? I am but I am more so anxious to meet his big sister.
Oh yeah,
because she will be there. She will be there, and I just want to know, what's that? I'm a DJ. So I love block parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love block parties. I'm a DJ. But like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, we can agree to disagree. I mean, if you wanted to do it, protect your saying, hey, it is what it is. But like, I'm standing up for sis. I'm standing up for black women anyway. And you teaming up with this chick that I don't even, you feel me? Like, I got questions about her anyway. Like, first of all, you ain't even from Georgia, and you running your mouth all kind of recklessly about Georgia, and you false claiming some stuff that I don't really get down with. You feel me? And being that I am of the soil of this here state, and I'm actually dealing with politics, like, nah, shawty, that ain't gonna work. Like, oh yeah, I'm the reason Kemp won in black people. Like, wait a minute, you what?
You ain't the reason nobody won shit.
You ain't the reason nobody won shit, shawty, at all. And I'm gonna check you about that. Like, when, like, it's so funny. Like, I know Brian, right? As a man, I had so much love and respect, and I still do. So I got to jump on this, Koofy on tight, everybody. I got to run y'all through this situation that I don't know if y'all know, but we're going to talk about it. 2020 election, right?
Right, real fast, just for people who may not know, we are talking about the Hotep Jesus clan. There you go. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
Google at your own risk.
Yeah, and hey man, look, I am all about Hotep Nation. You feel me? Like I say, great family, great,
Absolutely.
greatness. There's some things that can be tightened up, but everybody can tighten. I grew up, man, around a bunch of old folk, and one thing that those old folk always told me was, tighten up, young blood. Every chance you get, tighten up. So it's always some tightening up that can be done. So back in 2020, Brian Kemp was campaigning. We had the election fraud that took place in Georgia. It happened, and it is provable that it happened. So if anybody feels some type of way, we can sit down and we can talk about how some fraudulent numbers came into play in 2022 and even in this recent 2023 election. So if it happened then, you cannot tell me that it didn't happen in 2020. So there's that. Anyway, we had the fraudulency that happened, and it was pushing hard on Georgia to do something about it. We had the runoff between Kelly Loeffler and Warnock and Ossoff and God damn it, who did Ossoff? David Perdue, Sonny Perdue, Dave Perdue, whichever Perdue it was, whatever, it was a Perdue. Anyway, the runoff was going on, and Trump had all the information that happened with the election, and Kemp knew what happened. And I'm just going to let everybody know, Kemp is very, very much aware. And again, I tell you guys, look, I love Brian Kemp as a person, as I know him. I've been working with him when he was Secretary of State. I worked with him to get him in office the first time. And I worked with him as he's been governor, doing a lot of things. I've gotten bills on his desk. That's him and Marty and the girls, man, those are cool people. And something happened that caused a major shift. And what happened was his daughter's boyfriend worked for Kelly Loeffler. And his car mysteriously exploded here, right outside of Savannah. It was in Pooler. His car mysteriously exploded on the way to a Kelly Loeffler event that was happening down here, right?
Wow.
This was this was less than a week, I think, before the runoff election. This may have been like 2 days before, but it was definitely within that 7-day frame of the election. And Trump knew, like, we all knew what was going to go down. We knew what was coming in January. Like, a lot of people don't know, on January 6th, there was a lot of information that was delivered. If you remember, during the certifications, we had senators and House of Representative members who was bucking on the certification of, certain states. During the process, you have where a House of Representative member can step up and say, I do not agree with certification of these ballots from this state. And then the vice president says, well, do you have a senator that will stand with you and not agreeing? And then a senator will stand up and they'll say, well, okay, we're going to go on the 2 hours worth of debates to figure out what happened. And then in those debates, you present all the information on why you feel like these votes in this state should not be certified, right? This is when they say, Pence had the power. This was Pence's power, okay, you guys don't agree. Here it is. You go to debate, bring it back, and we're going to vote it up or down on which way it is after your 2-hour debate. We had about 8 states that was supposed to go through with this. But then we had the fake surrection that happened in whatever the case may be.
Well, and this real fast, let me just okay, so he's on trial right now for alternate electors, right? I don't know much about those other than Barack Obama had some lined up ready to go if needed. And then I believe Nixon did actually use alternate electors back
Kennedy
in,
used
the 70s.
alternate electors. That's how Kennedy got into office.
For us less educated folk, can you kind of explain how that play? Because from what you just said, makes total sense. But how do alternate electors play into this?
Okay,
right?
So
situation that we're talking about here.
You have electors, so like you have electors for each party. Whatever party is represented or whatever candidate is going in there, that party has electors. So what we had really 3 candidates, which is so crazy. You know who's very quiet after this 2020 election? Joe Jorgensen. We haven't heard shit from JoJo, right? And JoJo had alternate electors as well that was ready to step up, you know what I'm saying, to say that, hey, our electoral college numbers go towards JoJo. Like everybody has their own set of electors. And depending on which way the state goes, your electors step up, all right? We had Democrat electors that were selected to go for Georgia, but the Republican electors was in the background waiting because it was a contested election. They said the man lost by 12,000 votes. That's enough to say that, hey, not even, I'm not going to call them alternate electors, Republican electors be on deck, because it is a high possibility that we're going to change this, and these votes are going to go from saying that they go towards the Democrats and they're going to go to the Republicans. So when that time does arrive, you guys need to be ready. The paperwork has to be submitted, and y'all need to be ready to be in position to be called up and to put your vote in. That's what that situation was. They keep using words like alternate electors or fake electors. They're not fake. They're not alternate. They are the actual ones that are representative of the party. And if the party is said to have won the state, then your electors go in there. And that's what they were scared of. So going
so
to
basically
to that
like everything else, just real fast, it's a non-crime. It's people whose job it was that my job is to represent the Republican Party in this in this presidential election. Right now, there's people over there, and it's their job to represent the Democratic Party in this presidential election. Now, we're not sure because it's very close on this vote. And my people called me and said, be ready in case we get the change, so you can file the paperwork for this state and make sure these electoral votes go towards me. Period. The end. That's all.
Period. The end.
That's all it was.
That's all it was, bro. That's all it was. And I'm telling you, as someone who participates in that process, like I'm a delegate for the Georgia State Republican Party. So like I'm a dude that's in these rooms. Like I kick it with, like, I know the party process. And that's the problem with so many people, is that they don't understand the party process. So because they don't understand the party process, it's easy for the media and these people like the DA. That's just like, I look at Fannie Willis and like, you got to be the dumbest. I'm not going to say the B word because I'm going to get in trouble. You are the dumbest, unstable beast on the face of this planet to think that you could put this. You know this is actual process. You know this is actual process, and you're going in saying that there's a RICO and that they're breaking the law and that he knew it was a lie. He didn't know it was a lie. We all know the lie is that you guys are saying that he, cheated in the election. Well, again, I was talking to someone earlier. How can you tell me that a guy who isn't president teamed up with a foreign leader to steal an election to get in office, but then when that person gets in the office and the election comes 4 years later, he doesn't steal and cheat to keep himself in office, and he's the one who's over the process? It doesn't make sense. Tell that stupid crap to somebody else. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? But you have people who are just that slow, who will not grasp it, who are not a part of the process. They just don't understand. They don't understand. And,
and
because they don't understand. Yeah, they're not interested. And because they're not interested in letting anything be told.
Allow me to quote black feminine superhero from The View, Sunny Hostin, when I say, we don't care what Trump has done. we think, and I'm sure you can agree, it's important we just get him locked up. And she said that broadly on the show to applause. Anyway,
Right.
so, but
The applause light lit up, bro. The light lit up and said applause. So they had to applaud. They, even if they were, what the fuck is she talking about? Like this though.
But let me hit on before I forget, because we've been talking about so much good shit. I will go full Kanye West at the Grifties for you. You know what I mean? Somebody gets their big award, and I'm gonna interrupt and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna let you finish, but Sonny, you should unblock protocol." And I'll do that. I will do that.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. But until then, you know what I'm saying, we're going to keep doing this right here. You know, we're going to show up and do these lives, because then the people are loving it, and I'm appreciating that the people are loving it and they're enjoying it. I don't care. I can go on and on and on. I don't have to be up too early in the morning. Why they Brad Raffensperger, shout out to Stacey Abrams and Sonic. Man, we could talk about that. There's a whole bunch. Again, it's uniparty. They all work together. It is uniparty foolishness, man. And that's what happened with Kemp. Kemp got scared. Kemp got scared into doing exactly what he did. So the boy last name was Deal. The boyfriend's last name was Deal.
Right.
Remember I told you his car burst into flames, right? Hottest fire that they'd ever felt. This is what witnesses on the scene said. Hottest fire they ever felt. Well, they blew up the deal. Trump offered them a deal to come clean, to tell the truth, to let it all be known what they did in the election as far as the votes and everything they did in Georgia. And they blew up the deal. They blew up the deal and they went forward with what, I mean, Trump's the king of the deal, bro. We all know this. They call him the king of the deal. He offered them the deal. They blew up the deal, told them to shove it, and they moved forward. They did what they did on January 6th. Trump left. People got to see what, it had to be this way. I just feel like, this is what they said. It had to be this way. The people had to see the truth, and now they had to see that their money doesn't go as far as it used to. They had to see that these people are around here killing jobs. They're around here, oh, this is the 4th cheapest Thanksgiving in history. Bitch, the 4th cheapest? It's the 4th cheapest.
What does the 4th cheapest mean?
What? I don't know. But
if I went and got shoes and I didn't have to get the cheapest, but I got the 4th, you mean there's 3 other pairs of shoes cheaper and I don't have to take those? I just won. All right. That's like the Olympics. I just scored the gold because there's 3 other places, silver, bronze, and loser. Right. I got the 4th cheap.
4th cheapest, bro. So you didn't even get silver or bronze or gold. Like you copper. You know what I'm saying? Like
nickel. But even Pat, man, that's to bring that back around. That's the most important thing to me is, and in touching on what we can do and how we can support and help. I think that even the fires that destroyed the cars. Shout out to LS. That is an active, committed chat member. Thank you, LS. Yes. You're badass. But yeah,
Leroy Jenkins. I'm about to add that when we get done. I'm gonna. So you know what I'm talking about, right? When I say Leroy Jenkins.
Yep. Come on,
yeah,
man.
That's greatest. That bro, greatest. All right, guys, good talk. I'm going in.
Side note about that Lahaina stuff. I have friends, there that are very involved. I recommend. There's a guy named Pasta Jardula, Greg Pasta Jardula. He actually is Jimmy Dore's fill-in host for his podcast. He went to Maui and did a great documentary where he basically just sourced local folk. And I mean, look, man, at the end of the day, it's real simple. There had never been a non-Hawaiian police chief for the island of Maui. This was the first white police chief who did not live there when he was elected, did not run. But where did he live? Oh, wait, Las Vegas. Okay, so he was the police chief, but what was he presiding over? Oh, that big Highway 91 festival shooting with that dude who somehow had heavy military gear. You know what I mean? Busted a window and nobody bothered until all those rounds were shot. So anyway, that's the guy that was then installed as the police chief in Maui, who was giving lectures to the UN. And they talk about how they want to build a 5-minute city. And Lahaina is actually, if you've ever been there, it's a really good place for that, if you will.
Really?
And then it's bookended by millionaire resorts, right? So basically, we're going to have to squeeze the surfs into this area. So, we have the help, basically. So anyway, man, Sorry, that comment got me twisted. Also, yeah, man, it was really bad. I don't want to get too heavy into it, but man, they did the thing where they blocked off the road so you couldn't get out. People
Right.
were jumping in the water, and some people were like they had to jump in the water to live. Being somebody who's lived there, I can tell you it's not like that necessarily. Some people do live. But if you've ever been in a fire, it's not the fire that kills you, it's that smoke.
It's the
And when
smoke.
you see
Mhm.
huge billowing smoke and you're stuck in the ocean and you can't breathe with your head above the water because you're surrounded by smoke and you can't breathe with your head in the water, that's a rough way to go.
It
That's what
is.
our government, that's why fuck them all day, every day, man.
For real, bro.
I don't care. I'd rather go out swinging.
I'm
Which
going
brings
out
me,
swinging, man.
yeah.
Man, listen, I'm dying on my feet with sprint brass. You understand? I am not dying on my knees. I am dying on my feet with spent brass at my feet, bro. That's it.
What's cool
That's
is that
it.
literally leads me to my perfect next question, which is, what's it like to be hated? But let me just, but not jokingly, sort of, but really, man, you're definitely a conservative, a member of the Republican, action going on to make it a better party. You're a proud boy, as you told us. You are definitely a rebel in your community, in your life. You know what I mean? And here's the thing is that, and you're a rebel who speaks truth. And that's the problem, man. You can like a rebel and not like a rebel, but you hate a rebel who speaks the truth. Someone you simply can't argue with, man. And so, and I know for you, for a lot of folks, it would be easier just to toe the line, give them what they want. You probably, with your ability to shake and move, your background, your natural ability to speak and talent, like you could shake and move and you know how it is. What is a profit to gain the world? However, what's it like to be hated? And do you see it? Do you make conscious decisions and understand? Does it change the way you shake and move in life? Like, talk to us a little bit about that.
Right. You fucking
Yeah.
right. Like, I can't. There's just some rooms that I won't go in, right? Because I
Right.
know that I'm hated, I'm disliked, so I avoid those rooms.
That's
Because like 9 times out of 10, if I'm in that room, you know what I'm saying, my main chick on my side. And if my main chick on my side, I'm in those rooms. And if it get hairy, I grew up loving Dirty Harry. So
Yeah. We
make
get
my
quick.
day, punk.
Yeah, exactly.
Make my day, punk. So I really try to like keep myself out of those situations. It used to be nerve-wracking, right? Because especially like it's hard doing it, having a family, having a loved one, having a spouse, because like people, especially in like a city like Savannah, where there's, roughly 200,000 people in the city limits, maybe 230 around, right, in total. It's kind of small and everybody knows everybody, especially, when you're somebody like me. Got family members here. People got family members, went to school here. It ain't nothing but,
Well, you're
excuse me,
extremely active in your
right,
community.
right,
You are active in your community.
accessible,
So, yeah.
accessible. It definitely makes you move different. But in speaking the truth and standing 10 toes down, um, it's satisfying because, in a situation like we're in now, it's amazing the amount of people who are like circling back now and saying, "Hey man, you're right. Hey man, I'm sorry for the hell that I gave you. I'm sorry, I didn't see the way that you saw it at the time, and all you was doing is really putting us up on game." Um, that's the satisfying part, because now that hate that was there by so many people is now uh, a strong, revering love and respect, to where now some of those people are great allies in rooms when you don't even have to be in the room. And like I've had so many people tell me that people go and speak on my name and be like, nah, what you're not gonna do is you ain't gonna, first of all, he ain't here to protect himself, and if he was here, you wouldn't say that shit, because he gets you right together. And second of all, that man way smarter than you, and that man ain't did nothing but put us up on game, so you gonna have to watch how you talk. And like, the person will tell me that, but then somebody who was in the room with them would be like, "Oh yeah, what I'm saying, man, your folks stood down for you, like, I appreciate that." because now people are starting to pay attention and realize what the game is, and they want to step. Those are soldiers who are willing to step to get us right, because I just want to present the proper information so that you can build accordingly, so that we can all build properly and sustain in this next level of life, you know what I'm saying, this next part of the journey that we're all, partaking on together, because we all have to ride down the street together. So since we all got to ride down the street together, we all got to respect the fact that the red light is the red light, because that means that the intersecting street is now green. And if you run that red light while that intersecting, street is green, you're going to hit somebody. And depending on the rate of speed that you're going, you may end up killing whoever that you hit. And that could be a kid, that could be a mom on the way to get the kid, that could be a grandma. Like, you don't know who it is. So respect the boundaries of the light is red, don't run the light.
Right.
That's all I ask. And it's like, it's that simple on everything. Respect the boundaries that we set, because the boundaries are boundaries for a reason.
Well, and that's not to get cheesy with it, but that's why I love the experiment called America, because it's the only place in the world where we invite, are you different? Come on, then, you can have your space. And that's, two things. One, when white people ask me about country rap, because they know I love hip hop, and they're like, what do you think about country rap? I'm like, haven't we taken enough? Like, haven't we as white people taken enough?
Hold on, wait a minute. I got to give you something for that. I don't even know if you can hear it. I got to give you that, man. I got to give you that, because, bruh.
Come on. But let me get to my main point, which was, I say, and not in the way, I say, leave black people alone. Coming from the state that Black Wall Street was in, and then you dig a little deeper and see there were several communities like that before. The government, literally the government, came in and destroyed them. And what people don't understand is that we are always in an interdependent economy. And the more independent you make an economy, the more interdependent it becomes. And the more, so, if there is a Black Wall Street, you're still going to want somebody to do your roads. You know what I mean? They come in and out of town. There's trade that you're going to want to do with surrounding folk. There is, amazing. I mean, come on, man. We're going to put on a mute. No one wants to hang out at the honky. Some people want to hang out at the honky tonk. I want to go where the good music is.
Right.
I want to go where the good comedy is. So it's an interdependent. And that's why, to me, it just makes simple sense for people to fall on the side of more conservatism, at least right now in America, because the whole point is, let people do what they're going to do with the power they have to do it. Don't let the government come in, tax it, screw it up. And then, because the thing is, the government it always becomes a mandate. It's never a good idea. It then becomes a mandate, because you can put a profit on a mandate. You can put a price on the law, right? Even Jesus said, I did not know I was breaking the law till I was aware of the law, and that's the, the juke joint. Yes, LS. But that's the thing there, is that interdependence is secret, is the secret and the key. Is to me, in that if you allow people to build the way they want to build, like, for instance, I get along better usually with people who grew up in a lower income class, right? I can hang around millionaires. I learned to speak by pronouncing the last consonant of every word I say, because when you sit in a boardroom with millionaires, they're not impressed with how much Ebonics you can speak. They're not impressed with how many Eminem lyrics you know. Okay. They're not impressed with how fast you can switch out the word ninja when rapping your favorite song. They're not impressed with any of that. All right. They don't care.
They want their bottom line.
Exactly.
They want their bottom line. So,
well, they speak a language. They speak that language. Hello, Mike. Yeah. It's funny, because even at my age, the other day, I was in a meeting with it was a real estate and a restaurant owner, and just do it. I do small business work. And I accidentally, tired late in the day, I accidentally said instead of I'm going to. Right. And it was like, yes, I'm going to call him and set it up. And I just slipped it. I was like, I'm going to call him. And they looked at me, and literally you saw them change like shock. I was like, I'm tired. I'm going to call him and make sure everything is done properly. Right. And I take it on the other side. I take it for speaking too properly. And I'm like, well, ain't that a motherfucker? You know what I mean? And then also, how easily infiltrated are you if all somebody needs to come up do is singing that whoop-de-whoop song. You know what frustrates me? I was watching Shadur Sanders, the Sanders boys.
Yeah.
They were born millionaires. They were
Yeah.
born with servants. They were born with, I'm just ranting on it. But their latest Google commercial is like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, dog? We should do this. We should. I'm like, what, why? Dion, are you letting them? You know what I'm saying? Like, give them a higher, they're millionaire
Well,
kids. So this is all a hustle to me. You know what I mean? You don't need
it could be the
Ebonics.
hustle. It could be the hustle, or it could be that's just them. Like, I don't know. I'm not around. Like, they're regular people. Like, you got certain rich folk who will let that like dictate them. And then you have other rich folk who are like, I just got money because I'm good at what I'm do. But, you know,
But the Sanders
I'm
boys
still
got money
shooting
because they were
squirrels.
born.
They
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
but their dad, you know what I'm saying, was good at that.
Yeah.
And that didn't make any difference. I guess their dad that was good at what he did. And he's a country boy. He is a country boy at the end of the day. So if he's, you know, raising his kids as country boys and they're shooting squirrels and, you know, being good at football, they just, which is where their money comes from, being marketable and being good at football. And these boys are, you know, arguably good at playing football. So because they're good at playing football and they come from a dad, like they're literal jock sons. You know what I'm saying?
And I got nothing against that. But they grew up. Okay, now they're going to Colorado University, but they went to private schools their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
They did not hang around a lot of inner city kids. They had servants and people to clean their house and their pool their whole life. To me, it's like the movie Idiocracy. You remember that movie? And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. And that is the dude goes into the future and he's talking like I'm talking now. They're like, why are you talking like a fag? Why are you talking all gay? And it was because, you know, it literally, like, the voiceover was like, it had become grunts, you know what I mean?
Right.
Urban sounds,
Right.
and the latest rapper communication, like whatever the latest rapper was saying.
And that's
and I feel like that's, yeah, man, I feel like that's part of the dumbing down. And what you were saying is you have to be accountable. I think it's that dependence on the government. We're all going to depend on somebody, right? Like, people don't understand how I'm dependent upon my municipal water system. Right? It's silly, the things that we are addicted to that we have no idea. You don't believe me? Don't have a working toilet for 2 or 3 days and call me, right?
Let me know how that goes. I can, because well, let me know. No, not even let me know how it goes. Let me know your experience, because I know how it goes. I know my experience. You let me know your experience with it. You know, like, how does that work out for you? And you're absolutely correct. You know, there is a time where you have to like step up and do better. You know, you step up and be better, but some things are just of you, just by nature of, you know.
Yeah, the Sanders thing was a side note.
Of you, you know, right?
My point was, if you allow any group of folks who say, yeah, we want to build, if you allow them access to understanding municipal water supplies, I don't know anything about them. You know what? I call a plumber, right? Or actually, I call my maintenance guy, and if he screwed up, they call a plumber, right? So, because I have a condo, but you know, it's one of those things. Electricians, plumbers, roofers, solar is a huge thing right now.
Right.
So, you know, like Trump said, blindfolded, put a motor together, a car motor, back and forth. You know, these are education things. Not only do we no longer value, but once again, we're addicted in the fact that right now, if your water bill, let's say, I don't know, 60 to 80 bucks a month, I don't know, you know what I mean, how it works where you are, where you got well water, you have to maintain that well. What if the government just said it's quadrupled? Your 60 a month water bill is now 800 a month, or you don't need water then, right? That's your choice. And it's all of those things that I think, you know, once again, that's how they're going to issue in CBDC, is that, you know, we don't take money for you. I was telling a friend this, you know, one of those country dudes, you know, it's like, we'll have a riot right away. It'll be a war, son. And I was like, look, man, you got to understand, okay, you can say I'm still using paper money, but what happens if your electric company doesn't take it? What happens when your water company doesn't take it? What happens when your mortgage company goes, we don't care. You're going to have to convert that into CBDC. Problem is, it's 25 cents on the dollar, you know, and what do you do? So, you know, that's why I really believe in independence and allow it, you know what I mean? Allowing, you know, your town and your folks, and you know what I mean, and the people you vote in, And then you go, okay, so this town next door, and then this state next door, and what are they offering? It's like, oh, and Oklahoma's are, is the weed cash crop. They're putting out 23 million pounds and a surplus. Okay, cool. Let's get it from them because of the quality and the price. It's better if we have a problem, we can go down to Florida. We can, you know what I mean? The old school capitalism, competitive market, but without all the government interference that we're dealing with now. And then that kind of dovetails me. Sorry, go ahead.
I said, which has to get cut. But go ahead, man. Shoot. I ain't got nothing, bro. I ain't got nothing but time at the moment. You feel me? I ain't got nothing.
Well, I know it's
time.
10 o'clock here. I was going to wrap around 10 your time. And and this is something I wanted to get into just a little bit deeper, but I'll let you go because hopefully we do a lot more of these. But
absolutely.
I think we make a
like
good
you do,
team.
man. Shoot me text. Heck yeah, man. We got to do some more stuff because I want to man, listen, I'm gonna bring it up before we leave because I'm very interested in how you feel about it. I think it's funny, but we'll talk about it later. Go ahead.
Cool. I wanted to get into the trade economy and something that we were talking and you kind of mentioned it in passing, but it's something that got me thinking. I was like, oh yeah, that. And that is when it comes to the trade economy, people don't realize everybody's got their plan to bug out. Everybody's got, you know what I mean, some land and stuff. Heavy machinery. You don't want to use CBDC. Guess what? The hydraulics, pumps, diesel fuel, metal, real metal. You're going to have to buy that somewhere, right? And then if I want to bug out, I'm going to have to be able to get my truck up a road to the house I built. I'm going to have wells dug. I'm going to have some kind of solar, some kind of power set up, and all that are going to take heavy machinery, which I know is very durable and lasts a long time. But my whole point was the trade economy. And then you got the guy who has the huge bulldozer, right? And he's like, I don't want to be paid in CBDC, right? So that guy is like, okay, well, I'll buy, 20% surplus on the bricks to build my home, and I'll trade you those bricks for you to, you know what I mean, build out that stuff. What's your thought on it? And what do you think? Say CBDC happened tomorrow and I didn't want to use it. What would be my best thing to do? Like, what are you just know so much about that. And I know I don't have a specific, but however you want to come in and start beating that question up, you're more than welcome.
So it's like, I'm that guy, right? I am dude invest in hard assets, right? And when I say hard assets, it's like invest in the things that people are going to need when it hits, because at the end of the day, it's going to be needed. And the currency can be CBDC, it can be, bricks of salt, it could be anything, right? Because like if we look at the history of currency in America alone, it has, been all types of shit. So the thing is to be able to provide whatever it is that is needed when the time comes. I was the person who invested in things like heirloom seeds, water purification, guns, heavy equipment, building equipment, because those are things that are always going to be needed, right? One thing that I want to get, and I beat myself up about it because I didn't get it before Biden got his grubby little hands on the situation, is the actual stuff that's needed to press your own ammunition. Right?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to get an ammunition pressing kit, and I didn't do it. But the time may present itself soon. Someone may be trying to come up off the equipment, and I might be able to scoop it up. But
man, I want to store, believe it or not, I want to store lubricating oil and hydraulic oils, stuff like that. Because think about it, your guns need that, the big equipment needs that. Everybody, you're like, man, I got all this shit, but you know what I mean? I got no oil. I got no, so
I got no way to handle it, right? You know what I'm saying? I have no way to keep it up. You know what I'm saying? And I got some, and I didn't get enough of that, but I knew if I have this and the ability to work it and go use it, they need the work done. So with them needing the work done, whatever we agree on in trade is what we agreed on in trade. If it is the currency that it is at the moment, okay, cool. I just use my equipment to come up on this currency to get what I need to get. And now I'm finna go ahead and flip it, and I'm finna go buy me some, a bunch of lubricants or whatever the case may be until the next time, that I can use this equipment to get whatever currency I need. And it may not even be the currency. It may be somebody with the farm who's like, man, my excavator's down and I need some stuff moved and it's time for me to pick crop. You know what I'm saying? I got access, bananas and cherries out here, man. What can you do? Shit.
Yeah.
I'll handle that for you. Let me go ahead and get some bushels of cherries and some bananas and throw a little bit of them blueberries on top. We got yourself a deal. So like, that's what you want. You want the ability to be able to obtain whatever it is that the currency is. Hard assets are a lot of things. It could be equipment. It could be clothes. People are going to need clothes, right? You may be the person who know how to sew and to make clothes. Babies are going to always be born, so you're going to need diapers. We are a civilized society, so people are going to need to wash their ass. So can you make soap? There are all types of things that are needed that we can indulge in to be able to get that dollar, or that, whatever the currency is. I ain't gonna say just a dollar, but whatever the currency is.
That makes absolute sense. I'm useless, but I say eat me. When everything goes down, no one needs a comedian. No one needs a guy going, oh, it's wacky, all that death and destruction. Am I right, folks? I just saw somebody's head roll down the street. Way to get ahead. Boom. So I
think you're good at it. The court gesture is always around. They're always expendable, but the court gesture is always around. I'll make sure you get a good job as a gesture over in my kingdom. I hear a lot of talk about Hotepistan. I don't know how close to Hotepistan I live. I don't know if I can actually live in the gates of Hotepistan, but I might own some property maybe 5 miles down the road, because there's some things that's not going to be offered in Hotepistan that I definitely want to capitalize on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sanitary napkins are a brilliant idea.
Right.
Yes, things like that. Absolutely. That if you feel dumb because you asked somebody this question and it's such a simple answer, but then I'm glad I asked it because this is valuable info, man. This is what we need. And everybody says, yeah, I think, I think, I like the bullets in the land because they have to deal with one if they're going to take the other. Always something that they have to deal with one to take the other from you. Is important there. Yeah, man, I'd rather have a little bit more reading. I think, if we're going to talk about some of the perils of Hotepistan, they seem real quick to kill motherfuckers. You know what I mean? And you're going to lose. You're going to have to trade. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to learn interstate trade, period.
Yep.
You're going to want to send your products out.
Right.
So.
And that's where I'm okay with, having my plot of land and wherever I am and, doing trade, and it is what it is. I want to be friendlies. I definitely want to be allies. I want to have treaties, with certain places. Speaking of, did you watch, there was a show that came on NBC and they had to nuke this show because I believe this show was telling, the future and some of the past. Revolution, NBC's Revolution.
Yes, they was like 2 seasons in there. I was like, that shit is so real. Because what was cool about it was like, black people, white people, and it was like, shit, we got to learn to get along. Did
you peep the fruit that was making people sick and the fruit that had the dope in them?
Yeah,
that was so. Do you know about Hillary's mangoes?
No.
Oh
I
man, you should take a trip down that rabbit hole. If you have access to WikiLeaks, just go on her emails and look up her mangoes. It's very interesting. Yeah, mangoes. Hillary's mangoes. Yeah, interesting. But it was really like, it was so many things that was going on. It was like, whoa, I really feel like this is the play.
Yeah, they yanked that shit. There was a great comedy show called Better Off Ted. A friend of mine, he shout out to Adam Yenzer. He was actually a writer on the Ellen Show for 10 years, like one of the head writers. And what's crazy is he's like a Wesleyan Christian. He is super conservative, and he was a writer for 10 years on her show. So, but her wife starred in a show called Better Off Ted. And their whole thing is they work for a major mega corporation. And this show is 10 years old. And one of the intros to the show was them talking about, and in the future, we'll be able to use facial recognition. So if you've ever been anywhere in any picture ever, and this one chick was like, that seems like a horrible inclusion of personal privacy. How could we ever do that? And then they just moved right on. And that show, once again, 2 seasons and dead. So Portia de
which
Rossi,
they're
that was
using that. They're using that facial recognition so much.
That's what
one
they
of the
did at
reasons-
J6. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how they
Dude.
and they fucked up. Yeah, they ended up in Alaska busting an old lady, wrong lady. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" Because of facial recognition software, man. That's yeah, dude, that's scary.
Man, they use that on my black ass with Facebook, Instagram.
Really?
That's why I can't have an Instagram. Like I went to start one and I put up a picture and they were like, "We know you. We banned you. What are you doing here? Didn't we tell you not to come back?" And I was like, "Oh shit, y'all did all this with a picture." Like I said, I'm surprised that I haven't made it on Facebook as long as I did. That's why, like, I feel like they're toying with me just to see how much of a following does he still have. Oh my God, get rid of him. You know, like he's got to go. So, it's fun, man. It is a fun damn ride. And I mean, hey, Donald J. Trump is richer than me, and they putting the beat down on his ass, and he got the complexion for protection. He white, he an old white rich man, and they beating him up. So who am I to ask for any type of special treatment, even though they supposedly allegedly is giving me all this DEI special treatment? Who am I to ask for special treatment?
Yeah, you're not playing the game. They give you all of it if you would, you know what I mean?
If I just play the game. You know? Yeah, I'm not playing the game.
You got to dance. You're not.
I'm fighting that game. Oh, I got the dance form. It's called the Dance of Death. You know, I am. Yes, I'm an avid Game of Thrones watcher. You feel me? So
yes, sir, absolutely. The death and well, and to speak to the Trump thing even before, bro. This is. Come on. What was it? The Apprentice. Trump was the most popular liberal dude. He was at all the parties. He was that hipster millionaire. He was at the Emmys. He was at the Academy Awards. He was at the Grammys. You wanted to be seen and get your picture with Trump. I think that was part of his thing and why he was so blown away. So because for 30 years he was that dude, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, this is a real game." You know, he got a dose of reality that maybe he didn't even realize. You know,
he got that real nigga wake up call.
Exactly. That's honestly, if you've ever been any kind of hip or love, and then you went conservative and got iced out, you're like, okay, so that's a tiny sliver of a taste of what it's like to be a black dude.
Yeah, just a sliver, just
just not near, but kinda. Just that whole yes but no. Okay, yes but no. Don't make us get violent or ugly. We're gonna say yes but no and let you move on.
Then let you go.
Oh, we're gonna need some of your money.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a wild trip, man. It's a wild trip. What I wanted to hit on
we can wrap, man. Yes. What are you thinking about?
How do you feel about this whole Derek Chauvin situation? I know you've seen what happened up to Derek Chauvin, right?
Yes, sir.
It's interesting, right, that this happened at the time that all the J6 videos got released, right? So you have you got the videos of the police indiscriminately shooting rubber bullets at people, like shooting holes in people's faces, shooting the tear gas and the flashbangs in the crowd, and you know, all these patriots, if you would, right? Oh my God, this is horrible. How dare the police do this? Da, 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 da. And then in the same week, Derek Chauvin, a cop, gets shanked in prison. And it's, oh, he didn't kill George Floyd. George Floyd died of an overdose. It wasn't because he was on his back, blah, 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 blah. Okay, whatever. I'm not here to argue if it was an overdose or not. I personally don't give a damn. Let's talk about this cop that was on a man's back. A grown-ass man cop that was on a man's back who was laying face down or body down, whatever you want to call it, stomach down on the ground for 9, possibly even 10 minutes, right? I don't care who you are. What a person has done, you don't want a cop on your back for 9, 10 minutes, regardless of whatever you did. You're not trying to kill anybody at the time, right? There's no weapon involved. There's nothing with you hurting anyone involved. You're not a threat to anybody, right? You're in cuffs. You shouldn't take up for a cop that's on, because it could easily be you that cop has face down with you on their back. So you're crying right now about J6, and then you're poking your finger in the eye or your eye or whoever's eye, digging your nose, whatever you, at the people when it comes to the whole George Floyd situation. You can't praise the cops and yell that the cops is dirty at the same time without addressing that, hey, this could be a dirty cop situation. You know, the same vigor and attitude that this cop gave to George Floyd is the same vigor and attitude that the cops gave to you as J6ers who believe that the shit was stolen. Call it all out. But these conservatives, you know, these Republicans, if you would, they just stuck on stupid and just can't get it. So, like, have you seen much of their stuck on stupidness on your side when it came to?
I have. Sorry about that. I have, and okay, so there's like, this is a 7-layer here. This is like a burrito from Taco Bell. There's so many layers. I'll just start at the beginning of how it works in my brain here. Okay, so first things first, Derek Chauvin was wrong and used excessive force. Now, if you watch the whole video, George Floyd was freaking out. He begged to be taken out of the car a ton of times. I can't breathe. He did that. Now, if you look, and I've dug into this, the hold he was doing is permitted and taught. In fact, I just watched the documentary on that. So, was what he was doing wrong? Yes. Physically and morally, absolutely. Was it taught to him in what he was doing taught to him by the police? And did they lie on the stand and say he was not taught that? Absolutely, yes, as well. Okay, so we're dealing with that. Now, here's my moral opinion, moral take on it. Okay, if you decide to be a cop, you decide to be a cop, right? In the same way that if I decide to hook up with the Crips and I never shoot anybody, but I carry a gun and I'm in shootouts and I get shot, or somebody gets shot and I'm holding my gun when they get shot, I fire a couple and I get accessory to murder, I go to prison, I chose to be there, right? And cops get a lot of love in our society still. I mean, I know, think about it. It's, and no hate to any police officer or anyone for that matter, right? But that's what you signed up for, man. You signed up for, if you make that mistake, you are responsible for fatal mistakes. And if you make that fatal mistake as a cop, the problem is a lot of times you got to go to prison. And even if you were accessory to murder, more so, which I honestly feel like murder 2 would be more proper for this situation other than murder 1. It wasn't a premeditated thing. I don't think he meant to kill him. I really don't. I don't think he was like, I'm going to kill this dude. But I think he was wrong and he did kill him, by using illegal tactics. So I don't believe murder 1 was right. I do believe murder 2 what should be better. Now, here's the thing. This shit happens all day, every day in America.
All day, every day in America.
Right? All day, every day in America. And the fact that we're not addressing it on that level, right? And they want us to get into the weeds of one situation. And was there a dude that was high on drugs that was freaking out? Yes. Is any human being that's high on fentanyl dealing with a higher probability of death? Yes. I personally know people that have died on fent, thought they were getting, cocaine, or thought they were getting something else and they got fent and died. And that's exactly how you die. Fent suffocates you. It makes your heart, lungs, and your bronchial tubes swell, cuts off any ability for air to get in. Now, if they would have let him out of the car and said he's no flight risk because he's on foot, and even if he runs down the street, he's not going to run 20 miles. He's not going to go hide, right? So let's figure out a way to get him safe. Let's call the EMT, right? Because he was there a long time. They could have called an EMT as soon as he said, let me out of the car, I can't breathe. They should have been on with an EMT. He should have never put his foot on his neck. Okay, so boom, wrong.
Never.
Was it premeditated murder? No. Was it murder? Yes, but I believe it was murder 2, not murder 1. I believe it was somebody getting, just like, we were talking about fighters. I personally know people that are in prison because they got into a bar fight and they just happen to be a badass motherfucking fighter, and now they're in prison. So,
and those hands.
I think of it like that.
Those hands are registered.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing that came in with him, and it possibly being premeditated, because it was mentioned that they knew each other, worked with each other, possibly in the past.
Yeah, I haven't I haven't followed up.
Yeah.
You're right. Well, just like the dude.
Yeah, so there's
just like the dude. I think it was it in Georgia that the dude got beat, but it was all black cops on a black dude. And then come to find out, that was in Tennessee. Yeah, and then come to find out that dude was sleeping with one of those cops' wife or something. Yeah. And so it was a whole thing.
We have to remember that those things happen, especially when you're out in the streets and you're dealing with, there's not so many police officers on a force, right, in certain cities. So, like, you're going to know these people. Like, I know a lot of the officers on our police department, and it's very easy for you to know an officer or be around an officer. Like, it's easy. It's very easy. I'll just go ahead and say that. So,
well, hey, I have retired cops in my family. I have a first cousin who I'm very close with who was a cop, wanted to be a cop, right? As a kid, I remember he was the one who always wanted to. He was the Boy Scout and the cop, and I was the first one to try weed, smoke cigarettes, play guitar. You know what it is, man. But he wanted to be a cop, and he was a cop. He was actually like a sheriff. Like he worked his way up for about 10 years. He's like, I can't anymore. And he literally now is like he's in, he works in IT for the state. You know what I mean? Because you can smooth over, and it's not a bad living, but you just try to feed your family. But he's like, I don't do that. I can't do that anymore. And that makes a lot of sense to me. So that's where it comes in. If you're a cop and things aren't 100% completely fair down the line, and they're a little harsher on you, well, somebody in your custody, meaning you were responsible, died and is dead. And that's all there is to it. Now, let's break down. Were you the last one to show force towards this person? Could you have exacerbated the situation? Absolutely. As far as now, moving on so that's kind of how I feel. I will dig deeper. I didn't know about the George Floyd maybe connected to Chauvin in another way, other than I knew that they had crossed each other's path in like other arrests and things like that. Now let's get on into he got shanked in prison. Well, yeah. Okay. You set up a prison system that locks up mainly 13% of the population, 50% of the of the prison system is black folks. Okay. Well, yeah, you set up that system. Yeah, man. Once again, we were talking about the Survivor, tribalism. Literally, that's what kind of prison is, just kind of one big game of Survivor without Jeff Probst or any fun.
That's it. That's it, bro.
You don't want to get caught on the wrong side of one of them physical challenges in the shower.
Boy, listen, that's one thing that I do not look forward to ever doing, right? And I do my damnedest to keep my nose clean, so I never have to experience that. I don't want to go to jail. I'm not prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be in prison. Yeah. That's nothing that I really want to do, because, like, I don't want to be a slave at the end of the day. I don't want to be a slave.
More than I have to be, but
no. Man, listen. Yeah. Even though we're slaves now, dreaded air quotes here. We're slaves now. I don't want to be a slave. Like a real live, tell me when to get up, tell me I can't be in bed, tell me I got to go outside at this point, tell me I can't go outside, like I can't even feel on my lady. That is a slave. And that is something that I am not trying to do. I do not want to be that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I do not want to do that either. But I will say that at this point, once again, man, long story short on that, man, you're a cop. Whether it shook out that you were you were 80% guilty versus 100% guilty, you were guilty. There was a man in your custody. You should have done a better job, period. Now, here's the problem. You chose to be a cop. So if you should have done a better job and you did not, sometimes that means prison for you. And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And I can tell you for a fact, very few cops have any sympathy for any banger that gets shot and dies in the street. They're like, well, that's what you get. Well, a lot of kids, that was the option they had. That was the best for them, at that time. Or that was what they thought was the best for them, because no one gave a fuck enough to. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and of course, this shit comes out at the time it comes out. You know what I mean? They want to stoke that. They want to make us all mad at each other. And it's all I can think right now, man. It's from the Jew Palestine, Derek Chauvin, George Floyd again. Man, they are milking that. You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, man, I finna say,
really?
well, that's paid, boy. They paid that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
They,
And it's it shocks me. Like, I feel like it's their only play left. It's like, if we don't get everybody hating each other so hardcore that they all vote for the good Democrats because we'll take care of them because their neighbor will not, which is bullshit. But that's it to me. That's it. And it's really frustrating because it's not how the world is, man. You know what? It's just
really
not. What the not at all. Okay, so here's the thing about being in Oklahoma. I didn't realize living in other places. Other places are way more segregated, right? So the northeast side of Oklahoma City is the quote unquote black side of town. It's no big deal. You go to Bobo's Chicken if you want good chicken. You know what I mean? It was never no. You stay away.
Y'all got Bobo's Chicken.
Yeah, look up Bobo's Chicken. Yeah,
we got Bobo's Seafood.
Okay, fair enough. But it's
Real
one of those.
Stories.
Yeah, and then South Side is Mexican. You know what I mean? You go to Morello's grocery store to get the good meat because their butcher shop is best in town. So we're real lucky in that. I think in that I grew up so integrated. It wasn't until I went to California, and then Hawaii and Washington State. I was like, and Texas is similar in that we're just more integrated. People just all live together. There's a poor white guy working at the same tire factory as a poor black guy, poor Mexican guy, poor Asian dude, man. And we all go to the same trailer park and share beers. You know what I mean? And cheer on the OU Sooners and the Dallas Cowboys, man. And you get to that point, and that's something I wanted to hit on you, is something you have to kind of unlearn. There's so much you have to unlearn to be an intelligent conservative. But like, I grew up in the era of colorblind. I mean, there were hip hop songs about, it would be so fine if we could be colorblind. And I grew up in that era. And I think that's where a lot of conservatives miss it. I don't want to end on this. This is stupid shit to end on. We have way more better. But I think that's where a lot of conservatives miss it. Is it's like, well, I'm colorblind. It's like, well, but no, you can't be colorblind.
You can't be colorblind.
There's a lot of stuff you miss. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm so glad James Brown is black. You know what I mean?
Right.
How about it would have sucked if he'd have been white? We have Barry Manilow. We don't need another one.
Don't need. But that's right though, man. Like, I think that's the biggest pet peeve of mine in dealing with a lot of conservatives or Republicans, right? Like, I hate when they run up on me and be like, oh my God, it's so good to see, what I'm saying, you here. And like, it'd be so great if like people from your community would like come in more and be a part of what's going on. And, but I'm not racist now. I'm colorblind. Well, bitch, how could you be colorblind? And you literally just came up to me and said, like, you glad that I'm here and you wish other people in my community would be here. Like, you just lied to me in my face, and I don't have time for your lies. Look, tell me you're not colorblind, right? Because then with you saying that and admitting that you're not colorblind, now I can explain to you and we can have a conversation about the things that did happen to my color while you were being colorblind. My mom was born in 1960. My dad was born in 1948, right? They seen some crazy times in this country, and they are both still alive to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That is, I don't want to hear your colorblind bullshit when my dad, has the stories of being kicked in his ass for drinking out the wrong water fountain at 5 years old. I don't want to hear your colorblind shit with that, right? I want to hear you being able to admit that, yeah, that shit did happen and it wasn't that far away. Like, don't make it seem like it was distant history when my dad, who's telling me this story or has told me this story, is still alive and well. Like, it ain't ancient history. It's literally in my house.
Yeah, one generation removed, and it still happens. But once again, it happens. It's not almost uglier now. It's by far uglier when it's blatant. But at least if it was, hey, you're black, we're voting you out. You know what I mean? Look, we know if you four black people team up at a merge, you'll be unstoppable.
Yeah.
Because you guys know how with less to do more than we do, so we better get you out. At least
that's
then
the problem.
You kind of know the enemy. It's that old Malcolm X. You know what I mean? At least at least you know the enemy on the conservative side. it's the wolf in the hen house, you know,
It's
and
the wolf
that's
in the hen house. And it's getting to the point now where like conservatives are realizing that, you know what? Okay, guys, we need allies in this fight, and it's gonna be best if we get with them. So, you know, it may not be the way that we want to do, but okay, let's do it. You know, like, all right, guys, we need somebody who with the shits, and we'd better have, it'd be best to have them with us and they're with the shits than to have them with the shits against us, because you know that's it's a formidable opponent right there. So let's do what needs to be done, and that's why I'm there. You know, that's why I'm there, and that's why I'm my voice, and I will be unapologetically me in this. I will kick ass as best I can with this for as long as I can with this, to be the voice that, you know, my folk need. And they're waking up slowly but surely. They're coming over.
yeah.
I just need them to put a little pep in their step, because I don't know how much more time we have between now and next November, because the shit's going to get real.
Yeah, man. I was gonna ask you about that too. Man, you know what, man? We're gonna save a lot because I will go for another 2 hours and it's late. It's Sunday night, man. And you know, I got a wife.
Yeah,
So
man,
let's
I
not even
understand.
let
I
me don't make
understand.
me
Listen,
you know how it is.
I'm getting text messages. Luckily, mine is tuned
From all
in.
of them.
So, you know, hey man,
A few
she's
of them are tuned in,
so,
right?
you
No, I'm
know.
kidding.
Yeah, I got no. I got a few friends that are tuned in, like my dog Leroy, you know what I'm saying? And I saw a
Yes.
few other people who were in here. Pretty Boy was in this thing, but you know, nah man, I don't do that multiple women thing, bro. I think that is a very dangerous game to be playing unless it is agreed that you guys are on this whole huge family building situation, and some people can do it. And hey, by all means, look, I envy you, my brother, if you can be able to maintain all those women and they know each other and everything's fine. However, one woman's emotions is enough to deal with.
No.
I have not reached the level of Super Saiyan-ness where I can handle multiple women's
Yeah. Hey, women are expensive. And I don't just mean money. My woman really could care less. I mean, she needs what she needs. She's not a very materialistic woman, but time, energy, emotion, holding
Right.
them down, doing the
Right.
things as a man you need to do if you're going to ask them to do what they're going to do as a good woman, especially in conservative roles. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's, you know, I was just playing. I was hoping. I want to live vicariously through you. I'm an old married man.
Hey
So,
man, look, I feel you, but nah, I'm trying to be an old married one too. So, you know, we
get
gonna
it.
have
I'll be at the
old
wedding.
married.
You know, I will.
Oh,
Man.
absolutely, it's lit. It's turned up. You know, it's
It's gonna
turned
be on.
the fuck up. It's turned
Man,
all
I
the way
have
up at the wedding.
so much more. So yeah, I say, man, we try to do something on a semi-regular basis, if not a regular basis, because you're awesome. I have so many
Amen.
more questions to ask. I feel like I can get good information out of you that's entertaining for your folks, if nothing else. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
man. We can do, man. Look, bro, we can do this every week. You know what I'm saying? We can do this every other week. I don't really, just hit me with a message. Hey, pro, you trying to go? And I can hit you with the yeah, or the no. Like it's either
all
or.
right, man.
Like I'm good for the go. Just give me shit. I need like 3 hours. Just give me a 3 hour. Give me a 3 hour window, and I make it happen if I can.
Well, I want to, because I think I want to kind of create our own thing. I want to, you know, because I have it, but since I own it, I can say it. No one can take it. But I want to call it the Rumble on Rumble, where
Okay.
you know we just deal with controversial topics mainly through Rumble that we couldn't necessarily say on Facebook or wherever, you know, Twitter or whatever. Well, Twitter's cool now, but you know what I mean. YouTube. Anyway,
I still don't trust Twitter, bro. Listen, so you know I own an internet radio station, right?
mm-hmm.
They took my internet radio station Twitter page, bro.
Wow. What
Since
for?
Elon.
Huh.
So they have a feature with my radio provider, and Twitter has a feature where they live tweet the song that is being played. And all I did was use the feature. That's all my Twitter page did. Every now and then I'll drop a post or something, you know, as far as being a radio station. But the main thing, all it did was live tweet whatever song's being played. They said it was spam because I was live tweeting. And it's your feature.
Did you try to talk back to him?
Yeah, man. You already know. They ain't paying me no attention. They ain't paying me no attention. So it's like, it's all
like,
good.
I can't stream live to my personal page, that has, my 6,000 followers or whatever. The largest one I have is my personal Facebook page. They won't let me go live on it for some reason. I can go on PTOKC, I can, but they will not let me go live on it. So, and it's like it gets caught in this loop, and then you ask a question, then it takes you to a meta page, and then there's this other loop, and there's nobody to even ask anything. It's just, sorry, this weird feature don't work for you. Shut up. Bye.
Right. Bye. Get out my face. Get out my face. Your message is not getting out to the masses. Get out my face. And I was like, all right. So, I just use it for like little promo, man, and my fam and friends that do follow. And I just do my best to push them to the Rumble page,
yes,
please, guys, subscribe to our Rumbles. Like
Rumble,
I know his is that's your Rumbles PT Pod, right? That's PT Pod on
PT
Rumble.
Pod, simple PT
and then,
Pod.
And then it's Protocol on Rumble too. Like y'all see the names at the bottom of the screen. Go subscribe to our Rumble pages. If you don't have a Rumble, message me. I'll get you a link to Rumble. Message Bros. He'll get you a link to Rumble. Just come over there with us. We have to. Early in the show, we talked about other economies and building a side economy. This is it. This is that parallel economy. Like, this is the future. This is streaming future. Rumble.
Yes.
Rumble is streaming future. So subscribe
and we're winning.
to us over there. We are.
You are going to be such a key voice in the revolution, man. This is why nobody watches CNN anymore. And
right.
like, people like you, man. We're gonna signal boost you, and you have so much to help us to teach. You know what I mean? That's why I was so excited to talk to you, because I like just learning things from folks who are cool and down. And you're never going to treat me like I'm stupid for not knowing or saying the wrong thing. You're going to be patient and understand. I have a strong desire, and my heart is in the right place. It's just that, through years of propaganda, bullshit, and low IQ, I'm doing my best. So anyway, is there anything you want to leave the folks with, my brother?
Yeah. Y'all just stay up, keep learning every day, as we were just saying. Progress. Always progress. Find something that you didn't know and learn more about it. Chase your dreams no matter what they are. Doesn't matter, the time limit that you may set on or whatever. Just stay focused on it and go after it. It can happen, and it will happen, but you got to be persistent in it, and you have to believe. You have to have that faith. As long as you move on that faith and that belief, you'll be all right. And you're more than enough. You're not enough. Man. You're more than
baby
enough.
Steps. Yeah, you are more than baby steps. I heard you. I thought you were brilliant and a genius. And here I am just talking to you like we're homies. And that's what I'm saying.
You the homie, bro. You the homie, bro. You text me. You feel me? If you got,
fam.
If you're able to text me, bro, you are fam, bro. You was the homie.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. Very few people have my number.
Right.
I don't want people having my number. That's personal.
Happens.
But yeah, we will do this again. As of right now, we're talking next Sunday. I'm gonna throw some branding ideas and some graphics and stuff at you this week. Let me know what you like, and we'll go from there. So
thumbs up, thumbs down, man. Let's do it, man. This is not a business, man. It's a business, man. So we're gonna handle this business. And I'm not a Jay-Z fan, but I just love that. I love that
thing.
bar.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's
bar.
fair. All right, thank you guys so much. Is there anything else for me you need? Want?
Nah, man. Just make sure you in the building. But I'm saying this. You're always in the building. But follow Mike, right? Follow my dog on all the platforms, and then also follow his lead and be in the building for Friday Night Flights every Friday night at 8:00. Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and on recradiosav.com. That's RECRADIOSAV.com. We're transitioning off of Facebook, people, because Facebook is Facebook.
Zuck,
but
you're putting the screws to us, so we got to let him go. It's been real, Zuck. We're taking everybody and we're leaving.
Zuck, you suck, and I don't give a fuck. We out of here.
Out of here. And with that, thank you guys so much. This has been a true privilege and honor. God is good. You're amazing, and we will see y'all next week. All right, bye-bye. And Friday Night Flights every Friday night, y'all. All right, bye.